What's up, guys? My name is Ted Darklaw, and with me, as always, is the Black Knight. And this show is hella dope. And if it is your first time here, we are the co-owners of helladopetoys.com, where you can buy all the coolest and hottest and sleekest action figures that are going to ship to you in one business day. Aaron, how the hell you doing, man?
Brother, I'm doing all right, man. A little bit of a little sinusy thing, weather change, and can't decide if it's hot or cold here in Ohio. But outside of that, pretty good. I'm on vacay, so what else is better than that?
Yeah, what else you can do but hang out on a fucking live stream, man, right?
Yeah, and get some work done on the back end that I've been trying to do for the last 6 days.
Man, do I feel that doing back end work for Hella Dope is awesome and awful at the same time.
Yeah, I was up till 3 a.m. this morning, inputting all the stuff that I meant to do 3 days ago. So, got to pay the bills and all that.
No, I feel that. I think you definitely notice when I'm in a hurry and I got stuff to ship and I just don't list what it is. I'm like, this is how much it costs us to ship this. I'll fill out the rest later.
Right. No, I do notice that.
Sometimes you're really nice and you fill that shit in for me. So I appreciate that, man.
It looks like we got a guest this week, man. Someone that's been very loyal to the chat, to the business. I think it's just a good time to go ahead and bring him in, man.
Yeah, I guess we can do that. So sorry, I'm trying to find a way to hold up questions so I don't have to constantly be like this the whole time. And I thought I figured it out, but today this thing does not, I'm just gonna do this. It does not want to stay up. So
that's what she said.
Now that my gripes are out of the way, and it just fell down again. I swear to fucking God. Our guest tonight is a toy collector, a hardcore wrestling fan, a true hella doper, as well as an entrepreneur. You guys have probably seen him around if you've hung out in any toy live stream. And let me tell you, I hang out in some dark alleys of toy live streams. And you know who's always there? It's our guest tonight, Mr. Wonderful, Travis.
Hey,
how the hell
what's going on, Travis?
How's it going, guys? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem, man.
Thank you for
glad to have you.
Absolutely. I'm sorry. This is just real world shit right here. We're just gonna fucking work around it. I'm not gonna complain about it anymore, I swear.
Jeff says it best already. The show's already off the rails.
You know what? Just at least I got through the intro. We barely get through that correctly most of the time. So
you're right.
I was
just throw something together.
Yeah. We just wing it here. That's what we do. We show up 5 minutes before we go live. And we're like, what are we doing tonight? Oh, go live. Let's figure it out.
Just push the button. We'll figure it out.
Push the fucking button. All right, Aaron. So as we all know, everybody tunes in early to the show because they don't care about what we say. They care about what we be sipping on. And Aaron, what do you, sir, be sipping on?
Well, earlier I was sipping on some Dayquil. Had that Vicks shit in it. I don't know. The future wife upstairs had some concocted thing up there, but it makes a little Dayquil with a little Steely to be all right. If I pass out in the chair halfway through the stream, just let me sleep. I'll be good.
I swear, if you get me sick from this, I swear to God,
we're not making out this week.
I gotta be all next to you and shit.
God.
So sipping on the Dayquil and the Steely. Okay.
Yes, sipping on the reserve because of reserve.
That's right, man.
Yes. Mr. Darklaw, what is it that you are sipping on today?
I was actually inspired by you, not in the Steely sense, but we were on the phone and you were like you were driving around or somewhere. You were somewhere. And you were like, yes. I'm trying to find this hard Mountain Dew. And I said, that sounds disgusting. Too much sugar and alcohol together. Not a good thing. Teddy'd be up all night. You're like, nah, friend, there's no sugar. And I was going to drink water tonight. And then Mrs. Darklaw was like, no, you should get that Mountain Dew. And I was like, oh, Aaron was talking about that. Maybe I should do that. And I ended up being like you, and I could not fucking find it.
Well, good. I'm glad I'm the only one that couldn't find it.
So I went with very old school, circa 2001. Before the Smirnoff, we had Mike's Hard Lemonade. So
Yes.
any day.
Yes, the summer drink of all the. Not sure if am allowed to drink or not.
Oh, we're not finishing that. And then, no, sorry, I have 2 side pieces tonight because this is empty. This wasn't my show drink. That was my pre-show drink. We're sipping on the King of Beers, the Budweiser. But you know, we have a very special guest tonight, Mr. Travis, the Mr. Wonderful. What do you be sipping on, kind sir?
So I don't drink often. When I do, I try to get Treehouse out of Massachusetts. It tends to be good, either that or Equilibrium. It's a local craft brewery. But tonight I'm sticking to what I typically drink throughout the day when I'm hammering away on the computer and working on some stuff here. Some C4, just a little power bang. Keeps me energized and hydrated.
It's like you're a commercial here. When I'm having a hard day, I like to just pull out my C4. We're gonna clip that and get you a sponsorship deal. So
yeah, C4 will be knocking on your door tomorrow. Like, hey man, we love that. We'll talk.
Hey, yeah, I'm down. I'm down. I can be bought. I guess, right?
Well, you know, I'm still waiting on Still Reserve to come. You know, hey, I mean, I've been drinking your stuff for 25 episodes plus 20 years. So let's go. Let's talk.
I just feel like Steel Reserve is just like some old guy in like some abandoned shed.
Hey, that's fine. They make a good product that I have been sipping on for quite some time. That's before they had a flavor, man. That was just the old school, like
the old yak piss. Yep, I remember that. That's how you got me off the Smirnoff. You rehabilitated me through Steel Reserve. You're like, well, if you think Smirnoff is good and beer is gross, let me introduce you to Steel Reserve. You'll hate everything moving forward.
Exactly.
You know what I do.
This man has not had a Smirnoff since.
Well, you know,
you had one. You didn't have one on the Tim Clark show.
The Crazy Clown was here, and he dropped off a 6-pack for me. It is 5 of those are still sitting in the fridge. Maybe 4.
It's probably been about 15 years since I had one of those.
Back when they were like when icing was a thing.
Yeah. All right, Aaron. So what's popping in the chat? What's up with the hella dopers tonight?
You know, as soon as my computer stops acting like it's an ancient dinosaur.
Always something over here with you.
Always, sir. Man. Start a GoFundMe to get me a new computer. That's what we need. New computer and a new webcam. Start the GoFundMe right now.
Get a Mac.
I have a Mac. It's just
up. Get the Mac Studio.
Gosh, I can't afford that.
I got mine a year ago. I love it, man. 4 screens. I got you guys here, and on the left and right. So,
dear God, sir, we're poor. We sell toys. Okay,
right.
Dude, I'm poor because I keep buying them.
No. That's the point. We need you to. That's how we get the iMacs.
Gotcha.
Oz, how you doing? Hanging out in the chat today. Yes, Oz. Also, this show is awesome.
Awesome.
Not to confuse with the Mrs. Awesome.
It's awesome.
Yes.
Distinct difference.
Miss Simmy Skies, what up, doe?
What up, doe?
You know, it's still quite odd to have 2 moderators in the same chat at the same time.
I know.
Still getting used to that.
I know.
Mr. Payne's Toy Samples. Aaron, how you doing? Good evening.
And he was here last week, right? Time eludes me. I don't know day from day. He was here last week, so y'all should, when you're done with this and done watching Sonny, because I hope he shows up to work tonight.
Yeah, Sonny. I saw you on the socials.
Yeah, so make sure you go check out last week's episode, and then check out Mr. Payne's Toy Samples, Mr. Aaron, on his live stream every Friday night, and talk some toy therapy.
Mm-hmm. I was there.
Mm-hmm.
Also, actually, I thought you were drinking on a Zima.
Ed knows better than that. Ed knows better. I would gladly take a Zima.
Hey.
Bring me one. I'll throw some Skittles in there.
Hell
yeah. Good time.
Ted, yes, that's what I'm saying. Haven't had a good. We'll go find one.
Let's go get some Zima, throw some Skittles in it, and then do that thing that we said we were going to do on Tim Clark's show. Watch Fraggle Rock. I don't fucking remember. We
Hell
said
yeah.
we were going to make a day of something.
I'm
And then-
down for some Fraggle Rock, dude. I'm serious. Let's go.
Can we just put on the WWE network and watch some old school Rumbles? I mean, that's what I'm down for.
I mean, we could do both.
We
We'll
can
watch a
well,
couple
okay.
of Rumbles, then we'll switch and watch some Fraggle Rock,
Yeah.
and then we'll go back.
Well, okay, in between each match, we'll watch 15 minutes of Fraggle Rock.
I mean, I feel
Yeah,
like that's
cool
how
with
long
that.
the episode was anyway.
Cool down, ups and downs, peaks and valleys.
Yeah, you got to bring him in and settle him down a little bit
Yeah.
before you have the big kickoff. Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. All says he's going to stick to his coffee, which
For a
You know
man that runs 5-hour live streams, he has to, right?
He was rolling he was rolling last night. I appreciate him though because I was able to get the link. He was able to find me, and I was able to listen to it on my way back from the Cape today in the car ride home. So it gave me some entertainment in the ride.
Nice. Yeah, no, he'll do that. If you got a long ride, man, go check out one of Oz's streams, bro. He will keep you going for a while. They're not boring streams, they're just long streams.
Yep.
no, they're definitely. Hey, that's all. Hey, one day we'll maybe kick out a 5-hour stream.
No.
Jeremy,
Well,
what's
just-
going on?
Just do a watch of one of the wrestling shows when it's coming up, and we'll do a live watch where we're watching it and we'll laugh.
See,
and
we thought about that doing like doing
Mania?
it live. The problem is the problem with Twitch was while you are allowed to have the audio, if you anytime would have something like it's something with the audio that if it clicks in while you're live, they completely complain. YouTube, I feel, has the same complaint, but they don't really monitor it as much. So something we might consider doing later, doing like a live watch along and then like an after show thoughts and opinions where I don't have to work the next day.
I'm down.
And before we move on, shout out to Jeremy of the 3POA podcast show, Loose But Complete. Every, I think, other Wednesday. I don't know what the fuck they do anymore, man. They just do it when they do it. And I appreciate it every single time. And, there's an AWOC board game out there that maybe
Ted
you
froze.
should look. I am not going to stream off right now and then go buy the AWOC board game and then, tabletop game, and then come back here and hang out. You have my permission. That's the only permission you have to leave. Okay. No bathroom breaks. Aaron doesn't get a bathroom break. Neither do you.
What?
Uh,
What kind of bullshit is that?
I'm just saying, I take the bathroom breaks around here.
That's what you
But
think.
anyway, go check out on the Spiro website. Go do that.
Yes.
Go do that.
Frank, Rumble Toys, how's it going? Welcome. Good to see you this week, sir. We missed you last week. We get it was Mother's Day, but don't let it happen again.
we love seeing Frank, and Frank is a busy man, so we give him a pass every now and then. Mugs up, brother.
Mugs up. My brother wants to know what are you building back behind you?
Oh, that
Yeah,
right
you.
there.
I'm not building nothing.
Hey, as Ted pointed out to me, right? One of the things is you forget you're sitting on the screen. So, I'm like, oh yeah, there's a guy sitting here. So it's a 3D printed 1/12 scale vehicle. Somebody was selling it on. I think I bought the files for like $20 or whatever. I'm in the midst of it, but it's like a multi-week project, but it should fit all my Valaverse and GI Joe figs at some point. It's pretty cool looking. It's not going to be nearly as cool as what Val is coming out with, I'm sure, but it'll do the place until I get some of that stuff.
I'm about to say, man, you better hope you don't watch this one like that.
Yeah.
Motherfucker's stealing my idea.
Beating Bobby to
It's
the
not his idea.
punch.
I didn't make it. All I'm doing is printing it.
He
Somebody
just
else had the
printed
file.
He just printed it.
He's just a guy that knew a guy. Who else we got here? Was that Carol?
Carol.
Yes.
I believe this might be Oz's sibling. I believe.
Welcome.
Or
We love
I-
we love seeing new names in the chat. So
I don't correct me if I'm wrong. I do not know.
I don't know, but I'm still welcoming no matter what.
Hey, you know what? Thank you for coming.
Exactly.
We appreciate you.
Are you clicking on stuff again?
I'm not touching anything, dude. Hands up, don't shoot.
All right, bet. Also, it looks like Axion is saying that Sonny isn't going to be going live. He does not have a thumbnail up.
Sonny must just be on vacation. And there we go. Clarity for everybody. Unsolved mysteries finally solved.
Oz's
Welcome.
sister. Yes. Welcome, Oz's sister.
We appreciate it, man. That it for the chat?
That's it.
Cool. I guess it's time we get to our guest now that we found out what's chilling on his desk. That might be a new segment we have to start. What's on your desk?
I like it.
Black Panther head.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we don't want to know what's on my desk because, as always, it is a mess from weeks of me just holding up random AWOC figures, which you can buy at hellodopetoys.com right now. Not this
and
one.
You should.
Yeah.
They still come licked, right, Ted? You haven't
Yes,
you haven't
I
died like you haven't died
single-
like the Seinfeld character, right?
I lick every single one. And unlike Aaron, I'm perfectly healthy. So it's fine.
Man.
It's fine.
Twice a year, it happens.
So Mr. Wonderful. Do you want to go by Mr. Wonderful? Do you want to go by Travis?
Whichever.
Mr. Wonderful.
I'm good with whatever.
We're going to switch it up, okay? So for anybody who doesn't know who you are, let's pretend that everybody in here does not hang out in random live streams and has never seen you pop up pumping a chat up before. Can you tell us who you are and what your origin story is? How do you go from a newborn child to I don't want to give any spoilers away because we got a lot to cover tonight, to what we are today?
Yeah. So my origin story is not as cool as some folks with the slime and the ooze or the spider bite or anything. But my origin story goes back, and I mean, earliest memory I have, and the idea of this show originally was around wrestling. We're going to talk some wrestling. Hopefully we'll still get to that. I definitely want to. My earliest childhood memory goes back to when I think I was like 5 or 6 years old, and it was the Hogan and Macho Saturday night show. Still hold a grudge against my father because he thought it came on at like 9 or 10 o'clock, but it was actually like 8 o'clock, and I missed the stinking show. And back then we didn't have DVRs, us old guys, we don't have that. Nope. So been a wrestling fan my entire life. All the stuff you guys talk about, from G.I. Joe to the Fraggle Rock, the Muppets, all that stuff as a kid growing up, loved all that stuff. But, the one thing that, always stayed true to me was pro wrestling. Like, it was always my fallback. Got into wrestling, did some pro wrestling when I was 15. And going back a step here, prior to that, I was big into, action figures, toys. I was cheap. I didn't get a lot as a kid. It was birthday time and Christmas is pretty much when I got my toys. So at birthday time, I went to KB Toys when they'd have those 3 for, I want to say like $6 something, $7 for 3 action figures. I'd always get the X-Men and I'd pretend they were my wrestling figures every day. Because to buy the wrestling figures, you can only get one of them, but I could get 3 X-Men figures and I'd get all those old Toy Biz, I think is what they were. Mm-hmm. Then I, got to about that teenage years where girls were more important than toys, and, they couldn't know about my toys. So I got rid of them. Had a younger brother, a few years younger, and just kind of passed them down to him, and got into wrestling, and not school wrestling, because that was not cool when I was a kid. So, because like, what would you do in a mat with another guy wrestling? You're not going to hit him with a chair. I couldn't use an elbow, and I couldn't flip him the bird or hit him with a super kick. So like, what was the point? So, I got into pro wrestling, and I started training when I was about 15 years old. And I trained with folks like King Kong Bundy, Tony Atlas, Doink the Clown, Ray Apollo. Did that for a few years out of upstate New York. Actually trained at the same place Brody Lee had wrestled at. He wrestled out at our place for a while. You may know him as Luke Harper from the WWE. So and in TNA there, he or not TNA, AEW. A lot of those folks from this area. Then I got married and had a 3-year-old son and I had a son. I had my son, and my son was 3. Came out just kicking and screaming. 3 years old. Stone Cold Stunners and chair shots is pretty much what it was. And this is my defining moment here. Is at the time I was still wrestling, and my younger brother, was wrestling with me. We were a tag team. wrestled all over the Northeast, Vermont, Massachusetts, New York, Pennsylvania. Did a lot of shows up in this area. And then my son, when he was 3, he got sick. He's 19 years old and fully healthy, but he had leukemia, and I had to stop wrestling. But just before that, the hustle that you guys talk about, say we're cut from the same cloth. We had, I was trying to hustle at the shows. So I was trying to make custom wrestling figures of me and my brother as a tag team. And I was going to hustle those. So I had a ton of those Jax figures from the time that I bought from like Ringside or whatever. And I was going to turn them into me and my brother. Way better bodies on those toys than I ever had. But I tried. And then my son got sick. So I stopped. I had all these wrestling figures. So I was like, well, my wife's stuck with me. She can't go anywhere because we have a kid, we're married, and she still loves me for some reason. But now I can play with, and my kid, he likes playing with toys. So we'll just hang out and play with toys. So all those wrestlers that I was going to hustle and sell, became our toys. And, we'd get on the floor and my wife would be like, your son left like 25 minutes ago. And I'm like, what do you mean? Yeah, he's in there watching TV now. He's not playing. Well, let me finish my match. So, I play with my toys with the kids until they get sick of it and keep playing myself. And, then the big thing for me was I always had a hard time with the different scale figures. And then just got into the WWE when they went to Mattel and moved away from Jax. And I haven't looked back really. Those have been awesome. I have a ton of them. Mm-hmm. Kind of my origin story. Does that help?
All right.
Well, I was a little worried there that this story was going to take a turn because, you said you had a kid and he was 3 and he wasn't doing well. And then your brother, you guys were a tag team. And I'm like, oh no, his brother super kicked him and he became the Jannetty.
No. So let's take a step back there, Ted. Hold on a second. My brother and all my buddies that know him, he's the freaking Jannetty. He was absolutely the Jannetty.
I feel like we got to get his brother.
I know it. No. We don't bring him around.
Oh,
because he's the Jannetty, bro.
He's Jannetty, dude. Like you don't book him. You don't book him at all.
He's just on social media talking crazy stuff,
Mm-hmm.
That's what the Jannetty do.
I feel like heel Ted Darklaw would say differently.
well,
hey, RLH, dude. RLH. Real life heels.
Heel Ted Darklaw is not here tonight. Maybe you'll see him in the future. I don't know. I did not bring a cigar.
Laser Pants is in the building. He wants to know what this big announcement is. He's only here for the announcement that he's leaving.
Yeah, that he's leaving. That's what Laser Pants. Well, Laser Pants is going to have to hold his britches for a second because I have other questions first before we get to the big announcement, which is not necessarily about Hello Toys
It's
at
not.
this moment. It's not. It's not us. And Laser Pants left, and he's gone. But no, still in honor that Laser Pants is here. What?
He said, "Did you shoot a guy behind the bar and admit it?"
That's the Jannetty reference.
Oh no, I got that.
Okay.
Jeremy. So Jeremy's so perfect for like if you ever need like some sort of wrestling relation to anything. Like Jeremy, I need to relate this to wrestling real quick. Jeremy's like, yo, I got you real quick. All right. So you were a former indie wrestler who retired and did not get Jannetti'd. You did not get super kicked. For the record, we're saying it right here. There's no footage of it either. You did not get super kicked. And then you had a collection of figures and you've spent your time hanging out with your child as he grew, playing wrestling figures with him. So as a child, what did you collect as far as toys go? And what are you collecting now as an adult?
Yeah. So going back to then, I collect the X-Men figures. I definitely had some of the the bone crunching figures, but they always broke on me because they couldn't do enough with articulation. And they were like loose. So for whatever reason, the arm sockets always fell out on those guys for me. Like Shawn Michaels was like always broken. And they were more expensive. So I was big into the X-Men. I had a lot of G.I. Joes when I was really young. There was a phase there where RoboCop was really big. And I remember getting like the whole set for my birthday one year. There was, so that was probably, I would say X-Men was like my biggest collection. I didn't even use them as X-Men though. They were, The Rock and Shawn Michaels and Jannetty getting smashed through windows and things like that. So, always pretending that when I was a kid. Nowadays I'm big into, and it all started out with the WWE stuff with Mattel. Started out right away. I went right into the elites back in probably around 2010. I built an entire arena for my son at the time. And, you know, he was using it. I was using it. Really enjoyed it. Then, you know, probably right around the beginning of COVID. And meanwhile, I've got my kids, like my youngest son, he's collecting, you know, the Black Series. He's collecting all the Power Ranger Lightning. My oldest son still collects all the Marvel Legends stuff. He has the entire, like everything that's out for that he has. And then, you know, I was sticking to the WWE stuff to try to keep my money. You know, it's a lot to buy, right? So, you know, with them and their collections, I could justify that. So my wife didn't give me a hard time, but I went big into the WWE stuff because that's always been my passion. But then I started seeing the GI Joes and classifieds in Target, like right at the beginning of COVID and stuff. And I was like, man, those are pretty badass. Like, you know, like those are cool. Like they were goofy looking to a degree. We all know that the first one, but I'm like, I love 6-inch scale figures. So I got into those and, you know, I started digging down that rabbit hole and I came across Valiverse stuff and I just fell in love with it. I was like, this is awesome. Like they're characters that I don't need to know and I don't know and I can learn about and like I can make it my own and you know, mess around with those guys. So I snagged into that stuff, which then, you know, led me down the 3POA YouTube show and, you know, following Laser Pants and those guys and then Jeremy J. And then I was on a train back from the city a few months ago and I saw the AWOC stuff and I had it all in the cart on Big Bad. And I was like, that's a lot. Let me hold off. And then I saw Savage Crucible a few weeks ago. Well, it's been a couple months now, but I started seeing that. And then I jumped off the freaking cliff and dived into that with like a full, you know, all in on all 3 waves and an extra wave of wave 1. And, you know, and then I was like, hey, Jeremy, and he was really cool. Reached out to him. I was like, hey, how did this AWOC stuff fit with this Savage Crucible and this He-Man stuff? And he was, you know, right away getting back to me. And then you guys started sending me crap and cashing checks that I was sending you. So, you know, big into the AWOC stuff. I absolutely love it. You know, and then I started seeing you guys had some ultimates and I had not dived into the ultimates because I'm like, I already got these figures in the elite form. But then I saw the articulation on those and I was like, crap, I'm going to have to get the ultimates. So I'm slowly phasing out my elites with the ultimates and, you know, trying to find a way to display those, you know, in my office here.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Still working on mine myself. I gotta update the wrestling shelf there, but yeah, we'll get there eventually.
Yeah, so I had some follow-ups, but I completely forgot them because I was distracted by the chat. I was very distracted by the chat. We'll come back to that. On over there. Well, it is, and we're gonna get to it because there is a big announcement on the show, but it is not from us. It is from Mr. Wonderful, and we're going to get to that after a word from our sponsor, which is the chat. Aaron, what's the chat got to say?
I'll say we actually got a sponsor. What the
yeah, our sponsor is the chat. They're the ones that keep us afloat here.
Oh yeah. Hey, sorry about that, chat.
Yo, your presence is our present. Everything I say sounds super sarcastic. Like it's supposed to be sincere. I got a tonal issue.
It's okay. We forgive you. 13th Prince, good evening. Welcome. I hope all is doing well. So it sounds like Mr. Wonderful would be great for those retro wrestling streams we've been talking about. We've talked to him about it. I think we're working on a show to bring him on and talk some wrestlings about. So stay tuned to that. The Briscoe is in the house. Briscoe, how you doing? Yes, that Mr. Wonderful is a fine specimen for a guy. You gotta put that in there. You know?
Definitely not a Genetti.
He's all right. He'd look better with a mullet though, and some fluffed up bangs.
Full mullet, yeah, for sure.
Like a weird onesie, lots of colors on it.
Adam's his origin story is as a kid he wanted Transformers, but mom got GoBots. I did not get those either, so it's okay.
Your brother didn't pass his toys down to you. He just kept that shit. Probably. It's like, no, fuck you.
Yep, nothing.
Laser
Pants has said, "Yep." As soon as he hears the announcement, he's gone.
I would be impressed if Laser Pants is still here. To be honest,
He just commented. So
Oh, that was.
I think
I think he's using like a robot to like.
Yeah,
okay.
Laser Pants
All
has a bot to deal with that stuff.
Come on, I can hope he's still here.
Largo, how's it going, man? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. And we have a new viewer, Don Roberts.
Don
How you
Roberts,
doing?
welcome.
Good
Welcome.
evening. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for stopping in and gracing us with your presence.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Oh Lord.
I'm just adding to these.
Yeah, no,
You're
I
trying
see
to
that.
get
Like,
thrown,
dude.
I'm just adding to it.
Laser Pants, Mr. Wonderful, I'll buy literally everything.
That's how it works. That's pretty much it. I'm literally like on the Hella Dope, and I'm like, oh wait, I don't collect the AEW guys, but you have one here for $5. I'll add that to my cart.
Yeah, luckily we are actually all out of them. Thank God.
Yeah, we still have some of the Brody Lees. So Mr. Wonderful went to a wrestling school with Brody Lee, and we happen to have maybe one or two of those left. So
Should I keep the tradition alive and place an order while we're on?
Absolutely, yeah, we got to, man. But yeah, no, we're trying to make room for some new things that are coming up. I know we say that almost every week, but legitimately, like, I've been up many hours of the night because I don't sleep, and like going through the list of pre-orders, like, hey, what's coming out next month or in 6 months from now that I think you find people would like. So it's all for you. I stay up till 3-4 a.m. for you people.
I do not.
Yeah, oh yeah, we know because you don't even know what's on there right now.
I do not.
Exactly.
This is why we have meetings. I get the boxes, I inspect the boxes, I ship the boxes, I promote said boxes.
Exactly. I just buy the boxes and put them on the website. And
yeah, you stay up until 4 a.m. and you're like, ooh, fucking buy this.
Yeah, he does because he responds to my crazy messages at the middle of the night when I'm like, "Oh, I got this thing, man. What about this? You have this?"
that is me. Yep, that was me last night. Rhino Hobbies, welcome. Hello, good evening. I hope you're doing well. I believe this is the first time I've seen your name here also in the chat. So
welcome. Yeah, we have a lot of people here. So first of all, guys, thank you for the love and support. We really appreciate it. And if you're new here, we're used to talking to nobody. So the fact that anybody is here forever means the world to us. So Thank you very much.
Also, Jeremy, once again, Ted, they say all loose but complete hosts are created equal, but you look at me, then look at Ryan, and it's not all true.
So can I ask a question on that one?
Yeah,
because
this is your platform, man.
Yeah.
Jeremy, as I was reading that, the way I heard it in my head, and even when Aaron read it, I heard it as Scott Steiner's voice, like totally reading that as a Scott Steiner promo.
Now 25% of the 50% of loose but complete, but then you add in the 75% of my total awesomeness, but then you add in the 33% of Laser Pants hair. Yeah, see, I can see that. Yeah,
that's how I read that. That's totally how I read it. And there must have been something about a Bratz car or something too.
Oh yeah, I must have missed that one. Fine print. I don't have my glasses on.
On a side note, I started that and I did not read it. So when you put it up, I had no clue what it said. I was just like, Jeremy wrote a paragraph there. I'm gonna go ahead and start that. That's how you get me, folks. This is why I'm not in charge of starring things.
Yeah, you're gonna go ahead and take you off that now.
Yeah. Oh,
you're supposed to ask the questions.
I can't star anything anymore. What happened?
I don't know, Ted. What happened?
I'm kidding. It's fine. All right. So, we clickbaited everybody, right? We were like, yo, there's a big announcement tonight. And then everybody assumed, oh, Hella Dope Toys is going to make a big announcement. We are not making a big announcement. We're
going out of business. Oh, no, we're not.
Wait a minute. What about my pre-orders?
Hey, our stream ends right now. See you guys next week.
For the record, the company is perfectly fine. We're all fine. We're all fine.
Out of business.
I have plenty of boxes. They're ready to go tomorrow. It's fine. We're all fine. You can't fucking scare people. Like, you can't fucking Genetti the people like that, man.
Well, somebody's got to, okay? I can't bring on Travis's brother. I got to do the next thing.
I'm just saying, some douchebag's going to clip that because we would do the same thing and then blast it all over social media.
I'm probably going to do it later.
Yep. Mike's Hard Lemonade started tasting a lot better. All right, so we did not have an announcement. Our guest had a pretty big announcement.
Yes.
So Mr. Wonderful, what would you like to tell the humans? What's the main reason we brought you here today? Aside from the fact
main
that we
reason
love you.
was like wrestling. So
Yes.
that was the first thing. But
that was the first thing.
As we got talking and some things popped up, I came up with this concept, and I've seen so many folks giving back to the community, and it's been a really cool community to just kind of get involved with, from Hella Dope Toys, Loose But Complete, 3POA overall. Even getting together with Oz and those guys over there recently, just a really cool group, and everybody's kind of got their thing, and I'm like, how can I contribute? And so it's been a little bit, probably about a month now I've been working on it. I've been 3D printing for a while, so I was like, hey, let me see if I can come up with something. And one of the things is, and I kind of mentioned it earlier, is I'm trying to find a way to display my figs and such at the house here. And one of the things I find is that, right now I've got like random shelves and stuff. So I started a company called Hexastack LLC. And I actually have a patent. It's in pending. It's not official, but it's definitely pending. And I've got the legal team working on that. So I actually created a modular display system that I'm going to, in June, kick off a Kickstarter and see if we can hit some, get it funded. I have some initial prototypes. I've run about 6 or 7 of them. The idea here, and I'll show off. I'll show off one of my stands here and kind of talk through.
Full screen you here real quick. Oh,
cool.
Aaron already beat me to it.
So, there's a lot of stands out there. Valaverse has a really good stand. Not the problem, but their stand is only used for single layer figures. So everything's flat. Everybody's heads are kind of in line with each other. What I wanted is a system that I could use with any action figure within the 6-inch scale. It also works with pops. Sports cards can be used on it. So it's very, it's very modular and, dynamic and accessible for all different types of figurines. But the idea here is that I've got 4 different sizes. You have a stand that's in a 1/2-inch size. You have a stand that's in a 1-inch size. You have a stand that's in a 2-inch size. They all click together. And again, these are prototypes. They're not all finalized. These are just some of the FDM prototypes that I've been printing. And then you have a 3-inch size. So you can stack these. They all interconnect. There's magnets in them. There's 8 magnets in each one of them at this time right now. And what it does is basically you can connect these and interlock them so that you can have modular display systems. You're not stuck to any sort of configuration, but it allows you to tier your action figures and really display them modularly. There's some additional things that I'm doing. I have a flight piece that uses on it that I haven't printed the prototypes out for yet, but I have designed them. And basically what I'm going to show you here, and I apologize, I'm kind of nervous and just kind of showing us off, but
you're good.
You have the figure stand. There's a magnet that will be on the top here, and there's also one on the bottom that's underneath there. And what they do is they'll interlock and connect using the magnet, and then the magnets all around the side, right? So you can connect them to any one of them and interlock them, setting up a modular display on your screen, on your shelves, wherever it is. And the idea here is that you can stack them so you can get tiered heights. I have the 1/2-inch increment, so you can turn your 3-inch into 3.5. You can do 2.5s, very adjustable. The piece here that additionally goes into this, and you'll see, I have these. I have these plugs. So you have these different peg stands, and right now I've only printed out the flat ones and the universal foot peg. The universal foot peg is designed to fit like 90% of your action figures. Originally, I was going to focus on just doing the universal display peg, but I've decided after some feedback from folks that I'm actually going to allow folks through the Kickstarter to be able to purchase specific universal pegs or specific size pegs for different figures, since not all action figures are created equally and have the same peg hole. But what the key is, in these little holes and slots at the top, and sorry about the lighting here, but you can see you have these little hexagon squares that fit in here. They're not magnetized at this time. I may go that route. I haven't finalized that decision yet, but it does increase the cost. And my big thing is I'm trying to keep the cost down on these for everyone. But you have the flush one. So the flush mount goes in there. You can use that. And then if you want to use the pegs for ones that have pegs, you'll have the pegs. And like I said, during the Kickstarter, I will have the availability for you to purchase specific ones. So if you're looking for WWE Elite size ones, or you're looking for, stuff that fits your AWOCs or your Valaverse or your GI Joes, whatever, because they do all use a slightly different hole size, you can do that. The nice thing is you can pick what you need. You don't have to replace the whole stand. So it allows it for that modularity. One of the things I really want to show real quick, one last thing, before I kind of answer questions or any other feedback on there.
Bro, you just blew up the chat. So we're when you're done, we're gonna have to go through this.
Cool. So the 3-inch one, what I wanted to do is like especially the indie lines and the ultimates, things like that, they started to come together with like a lot of accessories. So what I've done is on the 3-inch line, I've actually created a whole cabinet storage. Sorry, let me get this centered here. And then I've created a drawer. I'm finalizing the thing, and please disregard the flexibleness. This was a new spool that I was using, and it was PLA plus, so it wasn't heated at the right, so it's a little thinner. The final products will be a solid resin print at this time right now, and basically you have a storage container that you can store these figures in, and like all the accessories, so that you don't lose your crap, right? Like one of my buddies who's not into action figures, I was showing it to him, and he's like, yeah, but what happens when they lose like these little pegs and stuff? And I was like that they're not using. So I was like, well, let me come up with a drawer system. So I came up with the drawer system. And if you give me 1 second, one of the things that folks were asking about, and my buddies that I was showing, is like, how much can those drawers fit? So I don't know if anybody collects, and I'm not a big Super 7 guy, but I'm a big fan of Zack Ryder. You guys can see all of this stuff. There's like 3 heads, 2 sets of hands, some dollar bills and stuff. And you can fit all of that crap in here. Hold on. And there's still room, right? So all that stuff fits right in there for that figure. So you'll be more than able to fit in your accessories, tuck them in the stand, and you don't lose your crap when you got your stuff displayed. So that's the idea behind that. Currently, I've only implemented that within the 3-inch. I have considered the 2-inch, but again, that would increase the cost because of the drawers. And I'm trying to be considerate of trying to limit what the manufacturing cost is for them. Did I cover everything? So flexibility, storage capabilities, magnets, that type of stuff. Hopefully I kind of explained it. Oh, and for the Kickstarter, I have a lot of, I got a lot of things that I plan to do as unlocks. I've actually, thanks to some feedbacks from peers in the community that I've been talking to, I actually have designed some alternative 1/2-inch patterns. So I have some that are brick, some that are wooden, some that are like stone. So you can, potentially purchase, if those unlocks occur, the ability to have alternative textured blocks up there. They'll all work the same way, the same connection features and the same connection pieces and stuff, but it'll all work together.
So basically, you're setting up like, for those who like with dioramas, you're kind of fitting that piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, trying to give folks the ability to, and that's exactly the feedback that I was given from someone. It was like, hey, what if you could find a way to like make it so it wasn't just a flat stand and you could fit it into, be used within the diorama too. So, for those that like to customize and paint, you could paint your bases or whatever, but you could also use like this stone brick pattern, or if you're into the AWOCs or whatnot, you could, put your, gorillas on a wood, if they're, and you can elevate it, right? And you can stack these, over and over again. And, one of the big things about it is, and this was a selling point when I was talking to a buddy of mine who doesn't collect toys, but he understands collectibles and stuff, was that these stands, by being, they're not flimsy. They use the magnets, right? And, I could have done them without magnets, but the idea with the magnets is that they sink together and then it spreads out and distributes the weight of them. So when you come storming into the office or the room and something wobbles and falls, like the stands, should be structurally sound enough based on the magnetic and the, spreading out the weight and distributing it, that you're not going to knock your stuff over every time, which I thought was a benefit that I could deal with, because
Absolutely.
there's been plenty of times I've been on conference calls and that door's been slammed pretty hard. So,
there was a question that was in here that I wanted to bring up real quick before we go through like the 23 people that are about to give you all their money right now. Axion was saying he wanted to hear more about the card holder system. Can you explain a little bit more about that?
Yeah, let me see if I have the piece here on my desk. I don't have it. So I saw this little prototype. There's a couple things, right? So this one right here, it's a little triangular, piece that can also has a magnet hole. And this will be an unlock, but it'll have a magnet hole here. And you have these magnets at the top, right? And your top base doesn't necessarily need to have the magnet to be used, because you're already connected to everything underneath it if you need to be. Well, you can take this and you'll have the magnetic piece there that you can put on here. So if you had like a nameplate or, some other design piece you wanted to slide in here, you can do that. Additionally, which I haven't fully designed out, you'll have the ability to, and some of the unlocks that I plan to have are things like, gun holding blocks that can use the rear magnets that are not being used to attach to another stand to have a backdrop for the diorama. And additionally, for like those that are sports card collectors, if you have like a graded card or something and you want to display them in a tiered approach, there'll be a peg that fits this. It'll be a singular piece that goes in here, and it has kind of that like, what would it be called? Like a painting easel, almost like a painting easel. So you can set the card in and have your cards displayed. So it's not just stuck to action figure collectors, but it expands beyond just the action figure collector group. Right. You can use it to display your, graded, BGD or BG, whatever cards and any of that other stuff. So I'm trying to make it, cross compatible for many different, collectors, with the focus on the action figure collecting community.
So, something that I was wondering, because I'm actually looking at some things right now. Have you thought about, and I don't know where Lego has their patents laid at, because I think they're giving, like, some things are actually their patents are up for, but have you thought about doing something maybe with that, with like the mini Lego figures, where you can actually have those on top?
So when you say the mini Lego figures on top, what do you mean?
Hold on.
Like, so that you could put those in?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's absolutely something that I can do, because this hexagon, right? So this hexagon, anything that's that hexagon shape that I make and I design, I can provide as an extension to the product. So I could do like a single peg here, which just fits the Lego piece if you were trying to display Legos. Mm-hmm. The other thing is, and again, going back to the modularity of it, if you had two, let's just say you have two 1/2-inch stands. I'm trying to find two of my 1/2-inch ones. If you have your two 1/2-inch stands and they're sitting here together, let's say you have one of these larger 5K toys, or, one of those, other figures there. And, this 3-inch base isn't big enough to fit the legs, or you want to do some sort of, diorama piece to it. Well, you can put a flat piece in here, put your flat block in, put a peg hole here and a peg hole here. And now you've able to spread the, figure or figures across multiple stands that are interconnected and, stabilized through the magnetic feature.
Hell yeah. I was thinking, like, when you were saying, I was thinking about like the Juggernaut that I had from the Build-A-Figure, or like
huge
Sentinel, something that's like really big. That would be fantastic.
Yep.
You've got something going on, man. You've got a really good idea. And like I said, we're going to go through this chat because we got to talk about it.
Awesome.
They're all over it.
Before we go into the chat, I just want to say, first of all, I'm blown away. Like, you have been telling us about this, prior to the show. And when we booked you, you were like, oh, hey, I have this thing going on. And then you're like, I don't know if this thing's going to be ready. And then you're like, hey, I think I have this thing ready. So we weren't fully, like, it's just so much of a surprise to us as it is to everybody else, because we haven't seen this. Like, everything you just showed us, like, we're getting the same viewing as everybody else. Like, it's just as shocking to us. And my mind's a little bit blown. And like I said, you might have just broken the chat. I don't think we've ever had such a strong, significant chat response as what we just did in like the past 8 minutes of you displaying this. So I'm gonna let Aaron go through that, and I'm gonna shut up, and you answer all these people. And this is why I only submitted X amount of questions, because boy, you got some explaining to do.
Oh yeah. I said, I'm just gonna flash a lot of them up. I think there's some questions towards the end, but I mean the response is 100% like all go. Frank Rumble Toys, that's hella dope. He's all in. Aaron's all same thing. Cool. I'll check him out. Oz loving it. I mean, this is genuine responses from the chat themselves. You know, Briscoe, he needs all of them. He needs them like yesterday.
Thanks, guys.
Laser,
I really appreciate it.
Laser Pants himself. You've seen this man's collection. Like he needs like billions of them. You don't need thousands. He just needs the whole warehouse. Just go ahead and ship him that right now. Oz, once again, you know, straight fire, man. Like, I mean, this is something that I think that the community really does need. And I think a lot of people may have like thought about it, but you know, you're doing it right now. You're about to give the people something that they were missing. So like I said, just keep that up, man. You know, Semi Skies, that's genius. Adam, you know, that's dope. No, I'm sorry. That's hella dope. Axion, once again, is going to be great for those that have shells. And like I said, I have mine in baggies. So, you know, to have something like that to put them in, I can have like all of my Marvel stuff in like one of those, all of my Valorverse in another. So I can actually have them separated. That is, dude,
and that right there, and I appreciate that feedback. Like you showing your bag there, right? I have the same bags, and like I bought fishing tackle boxes. I bought a bunch of things from Michaels where you got the straight ones, but the figures don't fit in without feeling like you're gonna break them and crush them. So I was like, how do I do this? And the thing for me is I got plastic bags, and I write, and I think I actually might have got this idea for the bag part from like watching Laser Pants, like with his stuff. He's like, oh, I've got this here. I think it was his. It might have been someone else, but like, you know, writing the name of the figure and the parts in there, because at some point I want to make sure I'm using the right things with the right stuff and, you know, whatnot. But like, it's frustrating, right? So
absolutely.
I like, and you know, I've always had a hard time. Like right now, I've got all my WWE Elites in my basement in like a 3-tier drawer down there, so I can pull them out. My son plays with them, so those are not a big deal. But like the ones that I like to keep displayed, you know, my broski, you know, and the razor that I got from Hella Dope Toys, you know, and you know, AJ, those guys right now, they're sitting on some like, some, I don't know if it was like Roblox or something from GameStop, like little chest thing that they were selling. And I was like, oh, those chests would be cool for something for Valorverse toys. And, you know, I'll just paint them. And now I just have them sitting over there with the figures on them until I, you know, get my finalized versions of my Hexastacks built and start displaying them over there. So.
Hell yeah. Man, I lost where I was in the chat, man.
Sorry, bro.
I mean, this is wild. I mean, there's so many. I feel like I'm going through super chats without super chats.
There's a lot, man.
13th Prince. Those are nice stands. I like the modular and stackable idea. And I said, and that's great for like people who use bookshelves. You know, you can have them at different heights and do different things opposed to buying those plastic like you
spice racks, like spice rack type things. Yeah,
exactly. So I mean, you're about to change the game, whether you know it or not.
That's what I wanted to do, but I wanted to do it for the community because there's been such a cool community to be a part of for the last, you know, I've been following for about 1.5 years, almost 2 years now. And, you know, the community's just been really cool to bullshit around with and have good conversation with and talk about things we like. And, you know, I've got kids at home, you know, my daughter more specifically, she's like 15. She loves to give me a hard time about how, you know, a grown man likes to play with toys. And she like, you know, gives me a hard time all the time. And my friends like that I have a couple friends locally that collect figs and stuff, but like, you know, my 19-year-old, you know, when he was younger, and you know, my 12-year-old now, we go out and, you know, we go fig hunt. It's one of my favorite things to do. Like, you know, dad's supposed to teach kids how to hunt. Mine's not with a gun. Mine's, you know, going to a toy store and trying to find something fun. Like my daughter used to do cheer, and whenever we were traveling for the cheer comps, I'm like, oh, let's go hit up Walgreens for an exclusive, see what we can find. So, you know, finally having a group of people that I can chat with, Axion, guys like that, you know, in the chats, Jeremy, Jay, those guys, it's been cool. So like, I want to do it not just for myself, not just to grow my entrepreneurship and that kind of side hustle thing, but also just to, you know, help other people, right? Like, you know, build the collection, make it more impressive.
Yeah, we were talking off stream in the green room. When this blows up, and it will, Don't worry about those Disney trips, man. They're taken care of now.
Yeah.
All the family's going now.
I don't know if I'm going to Disney anymore. We got to figure something else to do.
Right.
I'm just trying to get to PowerCon, dude. That's it.
Let's go, man. Right here in Columbus, Ohio, man. We got some beers waiting for you.
You have to get to PowerCon.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
You have to get to PowerCon.
But yeah, I mean, more praise. Rebel Toys once again. Yes, I'm sold. This is awesome. Payne's Toy Samples. I brought up a good one. Flight Clips is gonna have spring clamps. I guess that's the question.
So that's I haven't finalized the design for it. I'm in between. I saw some stuff on. I'm trying to think of the figs I was looking at over the weekend. There was something I saw. It might have been what Four Horsemen uses, and they use those clips. And they use kind of like the spring clamp type clips. I'm trying. That would be my goal. It may require an alternative resin to get that flexibility and stuff. So it's something I got to play around with a little bit. Originally, I was looking at trying to do something within the back pegs of most figs because most of them that I collect have back pegs. Mm-hmm. And I was trying to see if there was a way I can do it there. But yeah, Payne, with the spring clamp, that would be ideal. I got to toy around with that piece a little bit, which is why I'm not ready to go live with the Kickstarter. I want to make sure that I have all of the additional kind of like unlocks and such ready to roll, and make sure that that's something that I can build appropriately. I've been prototyping every night before I sign off for the night. I kick off the printers; they're running in the background. I was gone to the Cape for the last few days, and I had the printers running when I left. My oldest was still home, so I had him checking on stuff to make sure things weren't spooling out of control behind me. So I'm definitely trying to get that figured out. And once I know exactly what those finalized pieces are, at least for the initial Kickstarter, ideally, I want to get to a point where I can do the Kickstarter and then I can expand it with additional offerings. Because of the magnetic modularity of things, there's so many things I can do. Mm-hmm. If you've got like the 3-inch stack, maybe, I've got like a removable lid for one where you can just drop extra spare parts in behind, stuff like that. There's so many different things that I can do. And I've got all these ideas with it. So it's really like, it's limitless, right? Like it really elevates what you can, how you can display your figures and keep your stuff together. So definitely an option.
Get back into this chat here. Largo, once again, the hexagonal design is very cool. Yep, that's going straight to Guatemala, man. He's already got stuff planned for that. I can see the wheels turning in his head. So he'll definitely probably be looking to get those himself. Oz, once again, the hexagon tiles remind me of the HeroClix that I could see turning these into a variety terrain or making a game board. Now, I think this is kind of where you were going. Maybe I'm wrong.
100%.
With talking with Jason with the tabletop game.
Yeah, I haven't talked to him. I have not talked to Jason at all. It's just an idea. I want to talk to people, in different spaces, with that stuff. I'm gonna make one for myself. Regardless, I'm not, great with foam board. I've tried it. You can see I got a foam board cutter behind me. I'm not the greatest. I think I'm more along the lines of Ted, like let me mess around with stuff and, maybe I'll get there someday. But, as far as the 3D stuff, definitely like a scalable modular. And Oz points out the HeroClix. I never played with HeroClix. I saw them in the stores all the time. My son made me buy a couple of for him because they had like the Marvel figures at times, but we never played it. It seemed like it was a little bit more complex for his age range at the time. I just never got into it, but it definitely does remind me of some of the things I've seen there.
Awesome. The Briscoe, yep, he said he's right there with you. Just send the stock his way. He is good. Don't worry, he's got the money ready.
Briscoe's good for it. He's fine. Just send it now blindly. He's good.
Chooch, we saw you in the chat earlier. I started, but I wanted to get your response to
Chooch.
This info.
Thank you.
Here.
Appreciate it, Chooch.
Clever design. Also, he's loving the drawer idea. I think that's kind of like the biggest overall response. The design itself, great, but the drawer system, I think, is what's really going to be the selling point for a lot of people. Like I said, I'm sure everybody in this chat right now and anybody that watches the replay are going to be like, "We got bags, man. You're telling me I could put this bag into something, and it's accessible to me."
Some of us have boxes, and this is not the only one. There's about 6 more down here, full of bags.
Oh,
boxes.
That's just the one I
Full of
had
bags.
like nearby. I got like probably 7, 8, 9 of them right here. 'Cause like I said, I mean, I got all my Marvel Legends behind me, so like, I had to find something to put them in.
Some of us, like Laser Pants, already have an extravagant drawer system that's all properly labeled and whatnot. So
Not all of us could be Laser Pants, okay?
exactly.
We can't all have
Exactly.
nice flowing hair and
That's right.
nice
Tell me
design
about it.
drawers. Exactly. Whatever. Anyway, here we go back into the chat again. They're still blowing up in the chat. I don't even know what's going on over there right now.
Dude, we are so far behind in the chat. Like you are getting murdered right now. This
I
is a
believe it.
mob.
I believe it. Carol says she's also loving the drawer idea. Briscoe once again, genius idea. I mean, this is. I hope you see the pattern here. Like this is like response after response, all saying the same thing.
I couldn't be more thrilled to see it. I really do appreciate everybody's feedback. Like it's really I thought it was a decent idea. I bounced it off a few folks. Some folks that I really respect gave me some positive feedback and some recommendations. And seeing this impact and the folks' feedback here is really, really cool to see. And it just kind of motivates me even more. So I really appreciate it, guys.
Miss Simi Skies also says Mr. Ted Darkclaw needs that drawer system for real. He has all these tiny figure pieces literally all over the house.
I got a guitar. Oops, I had a guitar right here. I have a random picture frame. I have a bazooka. I have a samurai sword. I have
You still haven't found Sergeant Slaughter's hat, have you? Or his glasses?
Awkward. Actually, Sonny might be wearing Sergeant Slaughter's glasses. I really can't tell. I have some sticky tack. I have a Wolverine head. I have a random Hulk Hogan. I have a Santa hat.
I mean, everybody's got to have a Santa hat.
So remember when we were talking about what's on your desk?
Yep.
That was all just in. Yeah.
It's-
I have a dumpster.
I mean, you got to have a dumpster, man. You know?
You gotta have a dumpster to throw all the crap into.
You don't.
Which I
you
do
don't.
not.
It's not crap though.
It's
So
not
put it in a stand like a Hexastack. Don't put it in a dumpster. Take care of your shit.
Exactly, Ted. What happens if the diorama trash man comes and he takes all your stuff?
I know. Look, Travis is dropping the commercials left and fucking right, man.
So you try to give me work to do. Like I got to go back through and watch this again, clip everything, get the shorts and reels up.
Like, first of all, I'm buying C4, and then I'm also randomly buying stands with drawers. Like, I don't know what the fuck happened here. I'm a different man now.
It's not just stands with drawers, man. It's Hexastack.
It's Hexastack. Get it right, dude. Tabletop games and Hexastacks.
Branding. This man's on it. He is all over this shit, man. I am so excited for this.
Mr. Darkclaw, this is a question for you. Briscoe says, is that brim of your hat really long, or is it the camera? Something looks a little off to him.
It is actually kind of long, and I wear the hat because I work all day, and I don't have a lot of hair. But yes, it is an exceptionally. Oh, well, this is awkward.
I was waiting for you to talk so I could pop that up. Thank you, Simi Skies, for that response there. We love it. Here we go. Last couple here that I've got. Travis, I will be spreading this far and wide and definitely getting you support. Obviously, that's what it's all about right there. Getting the word out and getting this fantastic piece to this well-needed community that I think, like I said, once people get whiff that this is a thing, bruh, you think you're not getting sleep now? You ain't getting sleep later. you'll be shipping
Go back to that commercial. Get yourself some C4.
Get yourself some C4
in stores near you.
Holy crap.
Adam says, just take his money. Not so much, for the stand, but he wants to support you, my friend. That's what he does.
Adam's over here Shark Tanking.
Thank
He
you so
goes,
much, Adam.
I'll take 15% of the company.
I saw that, Ted. I'll pull that up in just a second. Laser Pen says PowerCon gonna be lit, fam. That's how he talks now.
We raising the roof in here.
I think Laser Pants talks that way because he's been hanging out with Jeremy too much. Jeremy goes strapped when he's up in Seattle or whatever. I think something like that, right? He goes, he's packing. I don't remember the exact quote, but a few weeks ago he was talking about when he up in there, he's always, you know, he's carrying.
He's got the heat ready to go.
I think we'll all agree Jeremy is just a bad influence in general. So
probably. So the people want to know, and you know, now that I saw the question, now I mean we gotta start talking exclusive rights here. Laser Pants wants to know.
I saw that. I mean, we can definitely talk. I'm more than happy to see if we can stay strapped. I'm sorry. I just saw that in the chat.
Gotta stay strapped, my friend.
Sorry, hella stacks. I love it, man. Like, there's definitely. I am looking and once we get this going, I thought about reaching out to people ahead of time, seeing if I could come up with something to partner with. But, what it really came down to is that I wanted to do the Kickstarter. I wanted to talk about it within the community. I wanted folks to be aware of the product, and I wanted to see what people, thought of it and if they backed it. So, I am more than willing to, but I want to make sure we can do this. I want to make sure I do it right. But I'm all for partnering with awesome dudes like Ted and Aaron at Hella Dope, and anybody else that's in the indie. I'm not looking to work with a bunch of big name things. Like, that's not where I want to go. I want to work within our community and help our guys in any way I can.
I mean, the people want to know. Like, they need to know when it's going to be available.
So available. So right now I'm targeting. Getting a kit. I've already worked on, like I said, the LLC's registered, the patent's all pending. I've been working through all of that. Right now I'm finalizing, obviously, as you guys can see, I've got a ton, I've got a ton of prototypes. There's a bunch of them here. They just all fell all over my floor because, they don't all have magnets in them because I don't want to waste all my magnets that I've been using for these. I've got the original designs. These are a smaller scale version, which I've moved away from because it didn't give enough base space. So right now, working through that, I'm targeting June 20th to go live with a Kickstarter. I want to give folks some time to talk about it ahead of time. I also want to finalize everything, and I want to get the final, models, finished and in hand before I go with the Kickstarter. So, I'm going with the Kickstarter, but it's coming regardless. I'm going to produce these, whether the Kickstarter gets funds or not. It all comes down to, how fast I do it based on the Kickstarter. The Kickstarter will allow me to amplify and push it out. My goal is to, have these in people's hands by end of September, early mid-October this year,
so you're talking quick turnaround.
Yeah, I don't bullshit, man. Sorry. I paid a decent amount of chunk of money to get the patent in play and stuff. Like as soon as, I was talking, I'm not going to mention who I was talking to, but,
we know it was me.
Yeah. I was definitely, I was definitely talking to some folks that, kind of play in the industry here, within our community and asking questions and stuff. And, I want to make sure I do it right. So, I went in, spun the LLC up overnight. I think the same day I was talking to that person, I got the patent all submitted and whatnot. So, I was, not pulling any punches, wanted to get everything moving.
Oh, yeah. Briscoe wants to know, so chat gets first exclusives, right?
I mean, we can talk. We can definitely talk. I want to like I said, I want to take care of the community. It's not just the chat. It's folks that are going to watch us on the replay. Hopefully it's going to be folks that see me on other shows. Hopefully I'm invited to a few others to be able to speak about this and share that. I'm going to be in touch with some folks. I'm going to get, hopefully my goal is to have some models. It won't be in the production packaging that I'm designing and working on right now, but it'll be, some samples that I want to send out to some folks. I want them to review them. I want them to throw them against the floor. I want someone like Articulated Ninja to do his drop with them and, see if they suck. And I want some folks to review them and tell us they suck if they suck. But if they're good, I want them to tell me they're good. I don't want, I don't want, I'll put them back in. I'll redo something. I'll tweak the design. I'm going to make them work for us. But I want the community to tell me. I want to succeed based on the community's feedback, right? And we'll make it work.
I mean, these are the people that's going to buy it. So why not
Exactly.
take the feedback from the people that are going to give you their money?
Yeah.
Timeout. That's a big one right there. So
That's awesome right there. Thank you, Ryan. I appreciate it, man. We'll be in touch, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Travis Fitzgerald on the Facebook. We've chatted in there. I think in some chats on 3 POA, and we can talk on Instagram. However you want to connect, brother.
Man, like is it that? This is an exclusive within itself. You know, that is breaking news, like right here on Hella Dope Toys.
Yo, if the 3 POA wants you on, you got to be good freaking people, man. Like,
absolutely. Thank you guys.
They
Thank you
haven't
so much.
they haven't even had me on yet. Man, that must be.
Well, one of the things anyone that knows me personally and, you know, outside of the internet community that I don't know as well, they know that when I'm going, I'm pulling. So if you're pulling up, I'm pulling you with me. So, you know, I ain't stopping. We ain't stopping.
Can't stop, won't stop. Get your ditty dance in. Highly articulated. Welcome. Good to see you. But he's saying, I don't think anyone said it yet. So that's a wonderful idea. See, play on words.
I love it.
Also, Ted Briscoe says he'll take that samurai sword if you don't need it. He got something for that.
I just threw it somewhere. I actually believe this belongs to Deadpool, and I used it for last week's toy thumbnail because I couldn't find my fucking hammer, so I used the samurai sword instead.
It works.
So.
I think that's it.
You don't want to go to this?
Oh, I'm still scrolling.
I'm at the bottom. This is the joy.
Oh, yeah, I'm just now getting there. I mean, you know, if you must, you know, I'll make some time.
If you must look, Ryan has to deal with me blowing him up in the DMs all the time, so I imagine he does not want me around in general. Like, okay. He gets his fill of Mr. Darklaw. Let me tell you.
We still got those beers waiting for you at PowerCon, so it's fine either way.
Maybe I'll give you the warm ones, Ryan. I got you, bud. Warm beers.
Still beer to me. I don't care. I drink them.
Yeah. It's funny is we're all drinking the warm beers.
Yep.
So is that it? We powered through that chat.
Yeah, I was saying, yeah, we did it. All 33 responses. Yeah.
So look, Travis, I got some bad news. The bad news is I've only asked you 3 fucking questions. The good news is the chat kind of like blasted through a lot of them, and we can kind of follow up a little bit about this. And I know you've already touched on it because I want to ask about the pricing thing, but I want to ask this first. You know, you said you wanted to support the community. So where does the idea for figure stands come from? Like, how are you in the lab trying to find a way, be like, yo, I want to be a part of this community too. I want to contribute as well. Where does the idea for figure stands come from?
Yeah, so the tough questions, Ted. The tough questions. So the lab. So always thinking. My brain is always it's a cog. I think you guys are cut from the same cloth. I've said this before. You know, like that hustle. You know, like how can you do something and how can you turn something into your own? I honestly, I was just sitting there and I was like, you know, I've been talking about wanting to start a YouTube channel and, you know, talk about fig reviews, you know, kind of, you know, give myself an excuse to play with my toys, right, and share them and whatnot with others. And you know, Jeremy's helping with that. Go buy his game because his game's gonna be awesome. Just calling that out. And then you know, I was like, how can I do something? You know, I see guys like him doing his piece, and it kind of hit me. I was like, you know, I've been stacking it really is the ultimates, right? So I was putting the ultimates on my shelf. I had not really displayed many figures before. Most of them kind of just sit in the drawers, or, you know, I have all my Action Force. I got my Desert Rats. I got, you know, some of my GI Joes here right in front of me displayed on my desk, but, you know, they're just kind of hanging out there. And, I've never been a big stand guy because there wasn't something that was like functional to me yet. Like there was nothing out there that, you know, did what I needed to do. It's like, okay, they all live at the same level. Like, and you can't see the guy, you know, 3 rows back. And it just hit me. Well, what if you did something different and stacked them up? And then I was like, I don't know what it is, but the hexagon, like I just thought it was a cool design, and the way it connects, like you're not going to bump circles against each other because they're not going to sit flush. And squares you can do, but I was like, the hexagon design, you can interlock them, and like it just kind of comes with a cool look and feel. And I started messing around with it, and it just kind of came to fruition. And overnight, really, like the lab was the shower. I mean, poop lines, showers, things like that. I know you guys love that stuff. So
Yeah, we do.
honestly, I got out of the shower and I was like, oh shit, I found an idea. And then I went to the computer and started punching away.
Bro, I mean, that's where the best ideas come from. You sitting there
I
taking a pooper, and all of a sudden, boom, genius idea comes.
Yep.
I'm usually driving in the car, but shower time thoughts are also good. So I respect the shower time thoughts. So I think everybody in the chat, they didn't ask, but they want to know because they want to give you your money. What's the pricing on this? What's the Kickstarter? Because that's where it's going, correct?
Yeah, so it's going to be Kickstarter, and right now I don't have the final pricing on it, but I'm trying to come up with a way that I can, because there's different sizes, right? So I have the 1/2 inch, the 1 inch, the 2 and the 3 inch units. I'm working on some different models for what I'm referring to as a starter pack, right? So there's gonna be like a baseline starter pack. I've seen other, you can buy those little thin, as thin as a credit card, flimsy ones. You buy like 10 for $10 or something. But again,
Yep.
You don't get the features that we're looking for. What I'm trying to do, I'm not your generic, stand, right? I'm different than what Valaverse packages in, and his are cool. I love his stands. They're cool. They've got the branding in them and everything. But again, and I've tried to stack his, and they work kind of, but it's a little funky and they're wobbly just because they're not intended to do that. So with what I'm going with, I'm trying to come up with a way that I can give a fair price and try to land somewhere in the $20 to $30 range for a starter pack that'll come with a multiple 1/2 inch stands, some 1 inch stands, a 2 inch and a 3 inch stand at least. I'm trying to come up with a way to do it so that it's sustainable. And I'm almost, I want to try to give it away almost. I'm going to make a little something, not trying to get rich. I have a full-time job and career. This is really truly a side thing to the community. So I'm really trying to do it and fair for everyone. So I'm trying to keep the starter pack somewhere between $20 and $30, not much more than that, and give folks a handful of stands to start. And then we'll have the ability to do add-ons. I haven't decided exactly how I want to do, like if I just want to let folks be able to buy 10 1/2 inch stacks or, a number, or if I'm going to do it in bundles, 5 packs of this. I want to make it affordable. And I also want to make it so that maybe there's a deluxe pack. I haven't figured out all the pricing, but I am truly trying to target somewhere in that $20 to $30 range for folks to get started, and then be able to buy add-ons over time if they'd like to, or, if they come right out of the gate, like some of the folks, they need them for all their shelves. I want to make it so that, folks can afford them, because I get it, right? It's not a toy, it's an accessory. Mm-hmm. And I'm not AWOX. I'm not Savage Crucible. I'm not the dinosaur one. I can't think of what it's called, but all those other guys out there, they're giving you a toy. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm respecting the fact that folks are spending the money on their toys. And then this is an accessory to those toys that's enhancing your experience, enhancing your displays, and, the overall opportunity to store your figures with their parts and stuff, and try to keep it at a fair price.
Oh, yeah. No, go ahead.
So we're going to come back to the chat, but I kind of want to touch on this point because it aligns with the next question that I have, which wasn't in the show notes. So we're going to put you on the spot. Ryan says, make a translucent yellow hexagon for the swarm. So my question for you is, what you have shown is all white. Is that how it's going to come out? Is this meant for, they come out white and you can customize them? Or are you going to come out with different color patterns? How is that working?
So I have multiple patterns already designed. There's folks that are in the chat that can speak to some of the patterns they've seen if they'd like to, and maybe they don't necessarily need to give all the details, but they can confirm they've seen some patterns that I think are very interesting, from stones and bricks and wood that are definitely interesting. Those are going to be some of the later unlocks, I think, for the Kickstarter. The other colors, I was traditionally going to stick to white and black. But I'm open to feedback, right? Like, again, here for the community, to make the community something they need, I'm going to listen to them. So if I hear that, translucent, yellow stands are something that's needed, I'm going to have to do some more research into the resins and such that we're using to produce them. Right now, I've loaded up on some blue translucent resin, some solid black resin. I have some gray and white right now for some of the initial prototypes. And then additionally, because I'm going to do the flight stand connector, which is going to have a magnetic base to it, to connect to the magnets on the base, that's all clear translucent. So I have plenty of opportunity there. I got to look into the pigment, and adding colors to it, kind of messing around with the chemicals on how to do that, as I haven't done that previously, but we'll see what we can do. And more than capable, right? If that's something that I'm hearing, I'm more than down to provide the gaps that folks are looking for.
Mm-hmm.
So I have another tougher question, and again, it wasn't in the show notes. This is just follow-up stuff, and this is just based off of me knowing our community and the extremists in it. So when you show the stand, when you look at it, when you flip around the whole hexagon, there's essentially magnets on every single side. I think there might have been maybe one side that wasn't. No, it's all. So from a displayer standpoint, is there a way to cover up that magnet? Because that's essentially, that might be a turnoff for some people. Is like, oh, well, there's a magnet there. Is there any way that can be covered up? Or what do you say to those people that have that concern?
So what's I'm trying to work on, one, I have already secured black magnets, so you won't see them on the black stands. And the white ones, I'm working on trying to come up with something that will be able to hide the silver, or, because I have not been able to secure any manufactured white ones. I've been doing my research and how you can, potentially, leverage, a coating of some sort that is durable over them to make them match the stands. So there's some things I'm looking into in that space to do that. The other thing I'm looking at, and this is something that I've recently started toying around with, is potentially just maybe digging the holes a little bit deeper into the stands, prototyping out a little bit more and putting the magnets a little deeper. They're very strong magnets. So with the ability to put a little resin of the same color over it and then cure the resin after the magnet's in there, so that the magnets are essentially submerged underneath resin to make it so that folks can't see it. So yeah, like laser can't stay, powder coating.
Yeah.
Things like that.
I was thinking like maybe like a peg or something. Or even just like a plate that like snapped in or slid in or something like that. Like just it's not on every side, but on the non-magnet side.
Yeah.
But that's just me being an extreme toy collector. That's not me being as a buyer from you.
My goal is to finalize it with a way that you won't see them and you won't need to hide them intentionally on your own. I want to make it easy, right? I want you to be able to open this up out of the box, snap them all together, move them around any which way, and not worry about, oh, but the magnet's shown on this side. So, easy out of box is if they're all black, the black magnets, you're not going to see them. However, if you start getting into these other colors, I've got to kind of mess around with some other things, to make them, so they're not visible. But figuring that out. So still kind of in the proof of concept on that.
First of all, I'm surprised this guy is still even fucking here. Dear God.
That makes me happy.
No, he's here for you. He's definitely not here for us. We've been doing this for 6 months. This is as long as he's ever shown up, aside from the one time we forced him to be here. Aaron, are we good on chat, or do you have any follow-ups?
Go in the chat, but Random did bring up a good point. Random also, good to see you.
Radnom,
Jesus Lord, Teddy.
Dude, no, everyone thinks I'm fucking ignorant in chats now, because I'm just like Radnom, but
we know. He said you might be able to print like a thin membrane, just a nice little thin layer on top of that.
Exactly. Yeah, it's exactly like taking the resin, dropping it with a little, taking a little thumb, like a needle or like a little ink dropper, and just dropping a little resin on there and throwing it in the curing, station, which is right there right now, just for the prototyping.
I don't know what any of that is.
It's all 3D printing stuff.
That's okay. I just smile and nod and pretend I know what I'm saying, and then it just sounds good on the replay.
Yeah.
All right, you're good, man.
Well, that's it. Okay, so wow, so again, we answered a lot of these questions halfly, so I don't really necessarily want to like double down on them. We talked about your timeline, we've talked about your pricing. Um, you're doing this essentially alone, right? There's nobody backing you. It's just you in a room in the lab, pencil and a pad.
Yeah, it's self-funded. I'm doing it all on my own right now, trying to get the kicks. Everything I've done is on mine. I'm gonna hire my kids, and they're gonna be like a little factory down in my basement. Try to teach them to, see what they can do.
That's what I
Um,
do too.
No, but so yeah, no, yeah, it's something I'm doing by myself right now. Trying to get it off the ground. And I guess I'm also doing it with the community, right? Because I'm taking your feedback, I'm taking their feedback, and I'm bringing it to them.
So, aside from stands, let's say this does well. Do you have any plans for any future products down the road?
Yeah, there's definitely some stuff that I want to mess with. There's things out there that's not being made, that I'm trying to dig into in the 3D modeling space. I'm not a character designer. I'm not artistic enough. I always say to folks like I have all this art right up here, but somewhere between here and here, it just falls apart. Like it's, I can't put it on paper and whatnot. So as far as coming up with other action figures, games, things like that, there's some ideas I have and things I'd like to play around with, folks I'd like to partner with on some things. But it's really the action figure stands and how I can take those, and continue to, because of my deliberate and intentional approach with them, making them modular and scalable. I really feel like it's endless. So, we may only have, so many offerings during the Kickstarter, but I'm not stopping there, right? Like I'm going to find other ways to innovate and, improve upon that product to, ensure that folks are able to find something to solve a problem, right, within the community. So I'll try to find another problem we have and try to solve for that too. And whatnot. And maybe, and one thing I will tell folks is I can assure you it's not going to be a Hexastack version 1 and then a Hexastack version 2. So, now you got to come out and buy something else. It's very much so going to be something that is modular and stackable and connecting to what you invest in early. So the idea here isn't to, oh, hey, we built out this product and it's great, but hey, we came back to the design and now we're going to refactor things. My goal is to not go down that road and just improve on what's already, there for folks. So if you buy in and you get these, whatever I come out with next is somehow going to connect and, enhance this to another degree.
So I liked what you said there about providing value to the community and solving problems, because at the end of the day, when you're building a business, there's really three questions you want to answer, and that is, can I solve a problem? Can I provide value? And can I do it better than anybody else? And if you believe in all three of those things, man, that's what makes or breaks you. If you can't answer those three questions, then you might as well just not do it, So the fact that you're so positive and confident and you have a model, you're already doing market testing right here. Like there's people just blowing up the freaking chat about this. Like you showed that up and people went buck wild.
Yeah,
I'm pumped.
It really, like, I know you're in a lot of our chats, but you don't get to see everything that's starred in there. I've never seen that much. Like,
Thank you.
in that amount of time. It was absolutely insane. So obviously you're on a right path. And we hope that does well. How do you balance doing this with a full-time job, a wife, and children? So again, you're trying to make time for the lab, but you also have to get up early, go do your job. You got to take care of the wife, you got to take care of the kids, and then you got to find time to fucking get down with your pen and your pad and cat it out. How do you make time for that?
C4.
Sorry, no. With all seriousness, right? Like, so there's a lot of folks that I follow. I don't know if you guys heard of Andy Frisilla, 75 Hard, things like that. There's a bunch of other folks out there. Ed Millette, he talks about finding time and you can get up early, right? Like most people are still sleeping at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. Get up early. If you get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and you don't start your work day till 7 or 8, I'm lucky I work from home. So I have that flexibility that I don't have to do a commute and things like that. My wife works from home, so we have the same, situation there. So there's no commuting for me. So I can do my job between the work hours. I work in the evening sometimes for that too. But during the day, you get up at 4. That's 3 hours before you really got to punch in, right? So that's 3 hours times 7 days a week. That's 21 hours a week. That's half-time job, right? So, you do that for, a whole year. You got 45 extra days in the year that nobody else is tapping on. So if you're putting in that extra time, nobody else can mess with you. I think Black Knight, he kind of does it in the reverse, right? He gets those extra hours at night. So he's tapping the market when other folks aren't. So, he's getting his 45 days on the back end, but he's still putting in 45 days extra versus your average Joe Schmo who's just waiting for things to happen instead of making things happen. So it's
or has a team of people that does it for them,
Yeah, absolutely.
We are the team.
100%.
And I want to come back to that, but I also want to give props to Aaron because Aaron does grind harder than most people. And when I think I'm grinding hard, Mr. Black Knight is just outpacing me, going, "Where are you at, bro?" And I'm like, "Fuck." And I'm like, "Look, I'm going to take care of this today." And he goes, "The fuck you are." He's just gone. So as far as Hella Dope Toys goes, Aaron is one of the most hardest working people in the industry for a guy that has a full-time job, future wife, and also has a lot of small little minions running around his home. So I respect that. And then also, like, I appreciate you talking about, you make time. You don't find time. You make time. I'm not a 4 a.m. guy. I tried. The best I could do was 5 a.m. I am definitely not a 4 a.m. guy. I am not happy at 4 a.m. But I also have a morning routine, and my morning routine takes X amount of hours. Like, I don't understand the people that can just wake up, roll out of bed and say, "Nope, I'm doing this now," and then do that for 3 hours and then stop. Is there a system that you have in place?
Hold on. Before you answer that question, I'm going to pull this up real quick. I think this is going to answer the question.
Okay.
Ready for it? No. A man said C4. How many times does this man got to say he's loaded up on the C4? He's trying to get sponsorship right now.
That was my spit take right
there. So yeah, no, I mean, like, honestly, like I'll send you a podcast from Andy Frisella, episode, I think 208 on his podcast. He gets very political and stuff, and I don't care for the political stuff. I follow him because of 75 Hard stuff, but he talks about making, you can wait for it to happen to you, or you can make it happen to you. And if you sit around waiting for it to happen to you, it's not going to happen 99% of the time. So you go make shit happen, right? So you can train yourself. It's mental toughness, mental fortitude, and something I struggle with every day. And it's something we can all do better at. And, I'm just trying to do better with it. And right now this chat's got me, motivated. So when that alarm hits at 4 tomorrow, it's going to be, wait a minute, I can snooze it and lose it, or I can listen to what I, shut my bitch voice up and get going and do what this chat wants me to do from the sounds of it. And what I want to do, which is get that product to market. And if I snooze it, it's not coming to market. Somebody else is going to come out and try to do something bigger, do something better. And, I'm not waiting for somebody else to take my spot.
Absolutely.
I'm not waiting for Janetti to try to take my spot.
I'm going to be hitting that snooze button.
Full circle.
I'm on that 9-minute rotation of snooze.
Aaron will hit the snooze button because he went to bed 10 minutes ago. Nope, not doing it.
Sorry, buddy. I know you got to be at school at 8 a.m., but I'm not getting up at 7:45.
Fuck them kids.
Get up on your own. You can walk. It's a mile down the road. You're good.
Walk to school both ways, uphill, right?
Mm-hmm. In the snow.
All right, so we're going to change gears here a little bit, but before we do that, is there anything that you would like to say in regards to the product, the Kickstarter, the dates, anything that we haven't covered? Anything that you want to let the people know?
I'll just shoot it out one more time. It's Hexastack, right? So that's the name. You've seen the logo. You guys are promoting it for me. I appreciate it. I'm gonna start updating my Instagram with it now that it's public knowledge, and I've made it official. I'm gonna start getting some screens out there of the products. So keep your eyes on my Mr. Wonderful Instagram. That's really where I'll be doing all my updates. So I appreciate that. Pay attention to pay attention for the 6/20 date. That's where I'm targeting for the Kickstarter to go live. It's definitely something I want to push for that date. I'm gonna push very hard. Folks, if you have feedback, right, you saw what I'm kind of proof of concepting right now. If there's something I'm missing, this isn't just for me. This is for you. This is for everyone out there that's collecting, toys, collecting cards, like whatever it is, and you want to display it in a much, more improved, manner. Let me know. I'll definitely take your feedback and try to, improve on that. And I'll definitely give credit where credit is due for sure. So, I appreciate everyone. I appreciate the conversation in the chat, everyone's positive feedback. It's inspirational and definitely helps motivate me to keep pushing.
Yeah. I think the chat really killed it tonight, man. Like there were a lot of people in here, and when they went off, yeah, like you broke a record, and on two levels. One, how many people were in here, and two, how much they popped off.
Yeah.
We've said some stuff in here. They've been pretty quiet, but you said a few things and they went buck ass wild. Absolutely insane. So Axion is posting your Instagram link.
Thanks,
in the chat. It's also in our description and flowing down below. So click on it one way or another, man. Go follow the Mr. Wonderful on Instagram, Travis. Axion's got the link right up there in the chat. Super easy, man. Just push the button. Give this man a follow. He's going to give you plenty of follow-ups. But the real reason we invited you on was to talk about some wrestling toys, and we got a little bit of time left.
Sounds good.
So I am curious, how long have you been a wrestling fan?
Earliest memory, man. Like 4 or 5 years old, dude. Like my mom and my dad kind of watched it. And they kind of, put it on TV once or twice, and Hogan was out there, ripping his shirt off, and the Macho Man was doing the Macho King. I think it was the Mega. I think it was the
Mega Powers.
The Mega Powers before it became the Ultimate Maniacs or whatever. So it was all that time frame. My earliest memories: Elizabeth falling off the ropes when Hogan got sent into her, or Randy. It's been so long, but I didn't see it the first time because my dad, he screwed that up for me.
Fucking dads, man. I hate that.
Dude. Yeah. So definitely. That's what I'm 38 now, so we're going on 33 years, 30 something if my math's good. So
I'm telling you, dude, that the Macho Man, Miss Elizabeth, especially like when Macho Man was the Macho King. Oh yeah, Miss Elizabeth was out like, that's my man. That's like the greatest like wrestling love story you could ever tell.
Yeah, it was like
they came back together.
Yeah,
made it right.
It was like the biggest soap opera piece to pro wrestling that like went over really huge. I was just listening to one of those podcasts with what's the dude's name, the Booker guy there. I can't think of it. It's Conrad and whatever his name is on there.
I'd have to go through my.
No, I know who you're talking about, but now I can't think about it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen.
So,
it.
It's one of those.
It's what happened when. Yeah, it's what happened when. Yep. So it's what happened when, and they, they were just talking about that, and I was listening to one when I was working on some yard work a couple weeks ago, and they talked about how that was like the main event for Mania that year or whatever, and when they brought it back, and like I didn't even realize it until I heard him say that. I was like, that actually was like, how'd they keep people in the seats for a wedding at a pro wrestling event? So yeah, no, it's like one of the most historical things, in wrestling.
Oh yeah. Like the one wedding that actually like went all the way through, like nothing bad happened. Like in comparison to like the Attitude Era and everything that followed, where Kane's popping up through the ring and he choked, bringing somebody to the depths of hell. But Bruce Pritchard.
Yes, I couldn't think of his name. Yep.
Thank you, Lawrence. We appreciate you, man. And check out A Punk with Toys Monday night, I believe at 9 p.m. Again, time eludes me. 9 p.m. my time, probably
Eastern
not your
Standard
time. You just, if you subscribe to him, you don't have to worry about what time it is. You'll just get a notification and you'll be there.
Exactly. Also, Adam says that are you pushing buttons again?
I'm pushing buttons.
You motherfucker. The Ted, I swear to you, dude. Stop.
No, I did it.
I didn't want you to do it in the first place. The greatest wrestling love story is actually Stephanie McMahon and Triple H. He got the girl and the company.
Well, did
Take
he
that.
though? Did he though?
I mean,
We
he
thought
got
he
something. I mean, at least got the girl. And
He did get the girl.
He's let's be honest, who cares about the girl there? He's got the promotion.
I mean, have you seen Stephanie McMahon's evolution?
Ah,
I mean, there's mounds of reasons why. Anyway, not that kind of show.
Luckily, all the kids have tuned out now, so
They'll watch
we're
the
up.
Big League tomorrow.
This is the second hour. It's not Raw is
Just-
War. It's the War Zone.
Oh, we're on
Maybe
War
it's
Zone
vice versa.
we're the
I don't know.
TV14 version.
Yeah. It changes at the hour mark, and we're 40 minutes into that hour mark.
Ooh.
So we can be, Aaron, you could flash the camera. Nobody will care. It'll be fun.
Nobody wants to see that.
We just lost 10 viewers, bro. Oh, it's
We'll see-
fine.
We'll
We're
say that
having a
for
great
we'll
time.
say that for the OnlyFans.
All right, Travis, who was your favorite wrestler? And since you're an old school guy, then and now and forever. That's a 3-tier.
I mean,
You know what? Hold on. I'm gonna one up this because I feel like it has to happen. Who is your Mount Rushmore?
Okay, I guess that then now forevers and adds one Rikishi, I guess.
so as having been a wrestler, right, and having done the indies, like there was always this part of me was like, oh, if they couldn't be a worker and actually couldn't do the moves, like they weren't as good. So like instantly, it's hard. Shawn Michaels is number one. I know he's got the storied history of being a jerk and stuff. Come full circle, he's now helping. He's helping younger guys doing things. But without a shadow of doubt, he's got to be my number one because again, I was not the Jannetty. I was the Shawn, and that's just what it was. So he's number one on my block there. I only recently put this guy in my top 4, and it's definitely Jericho. He's there, and the reason is because he's evolved so much over his career that he does it all. He's been it all, whether it was you're on the list or he's he's got a list of 1,000 moves against Dean Malenko in the 90s or exactly he's got, dude, he made Ralphus famous. Come on. You can make a plumber janitor guy famous.
Everything from his Lionheart to the Painmaker. I mean, the only other person that this is just probably me and my biasness of said person, who's evolved themselves just as much to stay relevant was Sting.
Yeah, no, Sting's definitely. So I have a hard thing with Sting. I didn't watch him before he was the Crow, and I didn't really follow him after that. I loved him in that time period. And and here's the thing, everyone's gonna crap me because I'm not gonna put Hogan on my list. I'm not gonna put Ric Flair on my list. Like they're all great. They did their part, but like I'm an 8. Like if they weren't like great after HBK, like they kind of are like, yeah, they foundational members, but I just don't put them on that tier. Shawn did it all, like everything. He did it so good, and his career was cut short, and he did it again after. And so he's there. Jericho's there. So I typically don't put guys who weren't great workers in my top 4 in that top group because of the work that it took to get there. And I know people are like, well, what about Cena? I'm not a Cena guy. I respect what he's done. I appreciate what he did through the lulls and the PG stuff, and respect the hell out of what he did. He's just not my guy. if I'm picking one guy that's kind of out of that, they're not a great wrestler, but they like did it. It's The Rock. I'm a Rock dude, like through and through. Like I'm a huge Rock fan. He's my guy. You know, like he just threw it all. Like he's in and he's there. So he's on there. And my fourth guy, you know, I used to be a Jeff Hardy guy when I was younger. I think I grew up at that age where he's like cool, and it was cool to do the things that he like, not the drugs and stuff, but like, you know, like the swanton and all that stuff, man. And you know, be cool. Like he was trendy at that time, but I gotta go with Edge because like I love what Edge did in the late 90s, and I love that, you know, like. I was at the Albany, New York, New Year's Revolution when he lost to Ric Flair in the Intercontinental title. I was there with my brother and one of our buddies, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, this is stupid. Edge is the man. I'm like, he lost the Intercontinental title because he's gonna win tonight in that Hell in a Cell. He's coming back out, and like we're all getting ready to leave, and all of a sudden Vince's music hits and Edge comes out, and I was like, that's my dude. And so like Edge, Hardy, Edge, Shawn, The Rock and Jericho are the top four to me. Like there's the Hogan, Flair, you can all Macho, you can put all those guys in that same, like you can swap some of those guys in and out there, I'm sure, with others, but those are the four guys that I just like. If I could watch them, they're the guys. Like if I could emulate someone, they're the guys that I watched when I was training. I was studying their tapes and like how they did things, and I was replicating how they did things, from the way they talked to the way they moved, the way they articulated things, like everything. So
before Aaron gets fired up, because I know he is, and Aaron, I'm going to let you verbally vomit everywhere. Just give me one moment. I just have two simple points.
Okay.
I am willing to bet I can guess 3 out of 4 of Aaron's Mount Rushmore, and that is The Rock, Triple H. Fuck, I forgot one. God damn it, Sting. There we are. I can't name a fourth, but I can definitely say Triple H, The Rock, Sting.
So I'm gonna surprise you. While I love Triple H, I do. No, I will not have it. He's not in my top 4.
All right, hold that thought. I'm going to let you come back to it. Okay. My second point is because I wasn't allowed to watch wrestling after I got married. My wife thought it was stupid. Yeah, it was the dark days. But somewhere in there in 2008, it was summertime, right about now. There was nothing on TV. And I was like, well, we could watch wrestling. And she was very opposed to it. And I just had to break it down to her. And I was like, look, girl, take this beer. Shut up. I know they're not really punching each other. It's fine. You pick a guy and you hope that he wins, and you drink your beer and you take it for what it is. And what she do, she fell in love with Edge and Jeff Hardy. She happens to have a Jeff Hardy. That was her first tattoo on her back. She was a diehard Edge fan. And those late 2000s era before right before 2010, maybe 2010, I don't remember, but definitely 2008 through 2010 when Jeff Hardy was coming up and Edge was roughly top guy. That's when she got in. You know, just shut up and drink a beer. That's what it is. Aaron, I'll let you counterpoint. I'm going to shut up now. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I mean, like I said, you know, The Rock, while the wrestling piece, not so much, but a great man on the mic. He can go toe-to-toe on the microphone with anybody. And to prove that point was Jericho's debut to then WWF. Those two right there on the mic are fantastic. Sting will always be like top tier on my list. Not so much Surfer Sting. That early 80s like intro Ultimate Warrior Sting, not a fan of. I respect what he did, but that Crow Sting and then everything that kind of followed was the Sting that I thoroughly enjoyed. But I am going to add. Go ahead.
Can I ask? So like with Sting, I agree. Like the Surfer Sting, you know, he was the Hogan-ish kind of character there. He was the super baby face, you know, the John Cena type guy that the fans liked. So like I loved him as the Crow character, but I just think WCW dropped the ball with the opportunity to let him, and that was just a failure of the business at the time and what they were doing. I think he would definitely be propelled so much more for me, but unfortunately he didn't leave WCW and go to WWE early enough when it would have mattered. And
he didn't want to. That was the problem.
Right. He didn't want to do business with the way they did business, and I totally understood that. But like the idea that he could have, like, if they strapped him appropriately, and then, you know, just the way things went back in Starrcade and all that stuff back in the 90s, 98-ish, I think is roughly the time frame. It just, he didn't, like, while you know, Shawn Michaels jumped, right? Like, and like guys like Jericho went to WWF and jumped. Sting kind of like, he was there and yeah, he was cool, but he just didn't propel into that like elite echelon.
And you're never gonna have that when Hogan
exactly.
calls
absolutely. he got shafted in my view for what he could have been, because they didn't let him do it.
Starrcade 97 exactly was the match where Hogan said, because Sting was supposed to win that match.
Yep.
On like legitimately, and then something happened. They called an audible last minute, and then Hogan says, like, look here, I'm fucking Hulk Hogan. You will do. This is the one time I'm gonna pull creative pull, and this is what's happening. And like you saw the next night on Nitro, sorry, Sting, you didn't win the title.
Yeah,
going back to Hogan.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, you're good.
I echo your opinion on him. I just feel like Hogan, and that's why Hogan doesn't make my list, is because he did so many wrong, you know, in the 90s and.
But I mean, but that's the Hogan that certain people deserve. Like you like. Everyone knew that all-American Hulk Hogan, you know, eat your vitamins and say your prayers. Like, to have a heel Hogan was well overdue.
I loved what he did. I loved that he was a heel.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. TV Hogan was fine. Never had an issue. Mm-hmm. It's the way he pulled the card in the backside, and he stifled people's pushes and this thing, right? Sting could have been so much more had they not done that to him. In my opinion, he was stifled because of that.
No, I think a lot of people share that same opinion. They just want to admit it out loudly. But no, I 100% agree. But I am going to add, I'm going to have Ric Flair. I mean, the man paved the way. I mean, he's limousine riding, jet flying, kiss stealing. I mean, the man not only talked it, the man walked it twice. Yeah. And dried it out on Sunday just to walk it again. 16-time champion, that's probably a little underinflated because you know, NWA and all the other territories that he was in. But Ric Flair, yes. I mean, and you gotta have a good woo, you know, like, you get them chops, you woo all day. But Ric Flair is up there in mine. And then number 4, this might shock a lot of people. It might actually shock Ted. This is it's gonna be a good one. I'm gonna put Randy Orton. Number 4, Randy Orton. When you talk about a generational talent, you throw his name in that conversation. For 20 years, this man went as green can go to a superstar. And I'm actually glad we're talking about that because I wanted to bring this up. They're saying he may not wrestle again. He's being forced into retirement.
That would be a loss for so many if that's the case, and it'd be very unfortunate.
For the record, every year I give Randy Orton 5 years before he retires. It was just depending on when I was going to be right, but I'm pretty sure in 2015 I said, "Yo, that man's got 5 good years left in him." And, you know, he proved me wrong. And in 2016, I said he had 5 good years left in him. And in 2018, I said he had 5 good years left in him. Well,
I think we've reached that part now.
Look,
I really do. I hope it's not the case.
Well, they said that that back surgery that he just had, they don't think he's going to make he's going to be able to walk and do things, but to fully perform to his level, it's not going to happen again.
That's unfortunate.
I think Aaron knows this about me. I'm one of those guys who likes to latch on to a guy for a career. I don't like to just jump in on fair weather. So when I was young, it was very much the Macho Man, and Macho Man got me through, 2000 roughly.
Yeah.
And then I had a weird point in life where I just, I jumped on the Kurt Angle bandwagon because I was looking for something. But Randy Orton came in and I was just like, yo, that dude is it. And I just rode that until the wheels fell off. And as time went on, I was like, look, that guy's going to get old. We got to jump on something new at some point. I called it Cody Rhodes back in 2008. I said, dude bulks up and gets into some shape. He could do some damage. Started to let me down. Worked it out. Still has hope, but I'm very much a one wrestler guy. Like I just like to ride one guy's coattails throughout his entire career. Yeah. I'm very sad Randy Orton is retiring. I think it is the right decision. I'm old. I feel it too, dude. Like he's older than me. In better shape. I fucking feel that shit.
Briscoe says he predicts you have 5 years left.
Dude, Briscoe's been watching how much I drink tonight. Let me tell you. Luckily, I can't smoke on camera, or else, oof.
I mean, you can't. We're not getting class anytime soon.
Yeah.
I mean, while we're at it, I mean, we're about to cross the 2 hour mark. Ted, who is your top 4? I mean, we all know, we know Macho. We know Orton's probably up in there. But.
Yeah, so we have the Macho Man Randy Savage, who is the holy grail of wrestlers in my mind. We have Hulk Hogan too, because Hulk Hogan brought a lot of us into the dance, and I'm guilty of it as well. And Hogan brought me in twice, man. Hogan brought me in as a kid, who led me to Macho Man, and then Hogan brought me in later because I was a 15-year-old who found out he turned heel, and I couldn't believe it. I was just like, oh, no, not my Hulk Hogan. Yep. So he brought me in twice. So Hulk Hogan is there. I love my Randy Orton. I don't really have a fourth, to be honest, man. I don't know if I have anything that special to me. Like, it's very subjective,
All right. I'll spice up the pot. Travis, you can jump in on this too. 2 honorable mentions.
Chris Jericho, Kurt Angle.
Good Ted, ones. I think your fourth guy is Dominic Mysterio, right?
that's heel
Dom.
Prison
Dom. That's Bay right there.
Oh, man.
God damn, I love that fucking guy. God damn, Travis is a true fan, man. He knows my shit.
Yeah. That's right.
He knows what I'm into.
Oh my god.
He's followed all the socials. I'm posting Dom memes of Bay. Travis is there liking that shit.
My son's a huge Dom fan. He loves the masked luchadors and stuff. My younger son, he's big into luchadors and such. We got to meet a few of those and locally for autograph sessions, but he's big Dom Mysterio guy. I don't get it. He was so mad when he was losing it when he lost, and he's heartbroken. I'm like, he stinks. He should stop fighting with his dad. If you cross me, I might do the same.
Right. Jeremy, I want to toss this out real quick. He says Orton came up through OVW. Dom Mysterio made it to the big show with no developmental time. Now, Dom did go public to say that he wanted to go through the independent route and run that before any big moves came. But when your dad is Rey Mysterio, you run that because it is what it is. But I think because of all that, he actually became a better person for it. Maybe not as wrestling yet. I think he still's got some things to do. But if you want to talk about an up and coming heel who's just, whether it's just the crowd legitimately hates this guy or they're just running this course, he's done it all right.
I think for a little bit for a little while he was getting a lot of the X-Pac heat, as they say, right?
Yeah.
Where it's just like they don't like him. But I think like this prison Dom stuff, it's almost laughable. Like there's a level of humor where you're like,
real.
Okay, I can kind of get behind this guy, like, and the whole mommy stuff with whatever her name is.
I find everything about Dominic Mysterio incredibly relatable, including the fact that on holidays I go to my parents' house and just cause havoc.
Did you try to get arrested?
With my hot wife. That's how I do it.
Oh my god.
I tried. I can't.
I don't care, man. That prison Dom is my favorite. I don't care. Say what you want, but
I'm prison Dom.
He spent hard times in the county.
Hard time.
Okay,
Right, like 30 minutes. I mean,
30
it was
minutes. That's a lot. He had to get escorted to the ring because
oh goodness.
He's a menace. It's
Dude.
relatable.
But
Yeah.
that mask though,
Oh yeah.
that mask looks good.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
if-
that
if
mask
he-
did look good on him. I didn't think it would.
I want him to
but
keep it.
does.
I
It
really hope he
does.
does. I don't ever want to see him go babyface ever again. Like,
Look,
I want him to be a heel. I want him to have the mask, have half mask, half not mask.
Oh,
to
yeah.
say fuck you, dad. Like I'm better than you. He's not.
Dude, he
but-
needs the mask. He's ugly as fuck. Like the mask makes him look better. He's just a little too tall, in my opinion, but it's fine. I'll get over it. But yo, cover up that fucking face.
fake fan. Prison Dom helped us all grow as men. Oh god, I can't. Oh yeah, here we go. I gotta get I gotta get it in there real quick. Prison Dom knows all about hard times, daddy. He
There it
spends
is.
8 minutes in the prison eating no meals. He knows about hard times. Damn it, I'm so good at that.
No, you're actually really good at that. So we really need to do a stop motion with Dusty Rhodes and Hulk Hogan. Actually, you did a really good Macho Man earlier too. And I'm really jealous.
That's hard, man.
No,
that's,
Macho Man's so hard. I can do a
that's-
great Hulk Hogan. I do a terrible Macho Man.
Mm-mm.
And you do a really good Dusty Rhodes too, man.
I do a really good Shawn Michaels if all I got to do is kick my brother through a window.
Not the Genetti.
I still need to get your brother. We got to talk, just to see what happened. I gotta get the other story. There's two sides to every coin.
We got to do a whole documentary series on
Yes,
this.
a
Like what
6-part
really happened. Like really dramatic too. Like the music's like boom,
The Dark Side of the Ring.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah. What really happened on that fateful night when the brothers became not a tag team anymore? And then Travis is like, he didn't kick me through a window, okay? And then your brother's like, oh, I totally kicked him through a window.
Yeah. I got the picture right here.
Yeah. He's the Genetti.
Mhm.
So now we have to get your brother on.
We'll talk.
So, Aaron, do you need to go over anything else? Go ahead. We have a lot of start shit. Go ahead and do that before I wrap this up.
I mean, apparently, you like to ride guys for their whole career, there, sir. Giddy up.
Who is that from?
Some guy from some show.
Axion, I'm gonna need you to ban that gentleman from ever coming in the chat ever again. Also block him from my emails and my DMs. That would be appreciated. Thank you. And what I have to say to that is, I don't know what he's talking about.
That never happened. There is no replay that says that he likes to ride guys for his entire career.
Not the Genetti.
God damn it. A lot of this is old because we've been on a wrestling talk, but Punk with Toys is here. We saw him. We say hello.
Yeah.
And also we all know that Radnom is here.
Radnom.
This goes back to the thing about the 3 questions and you can answer them, but you can't spell random. It's cool.
I can. It's RADNOM NOM NOM. I can spell it when it goes into YouTube, and that's all that matters, sir.
Exactly. Mr. Jeremy J says, I heard the talented painter that needs some samples, some authority on some subjects. If you know a guy, he knows a guy. I don't know what he's talking about. He's crazy right now.
We'll definitely be in touch, Jeremy. You know that.
I think you already answered that question about your IG being private. Stop hiding stuff behind your IG there, sir.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely open it up.
The people need to see the feet pics.
Indeed.
Lawrence also says HBK is a goat. He's a goat. Okay, just say it. He's a goat. He's not a boat like Natty. Natty is the boat. Sean is the goat. Best of all time. I saw the look in your face, Ted. It's okay.
Yo, I'm just here making expressions.
Oh Lord. Jeremy says that HBK draws a wiener in all of his autographs. You just won't be able to see it now. Is it because of?
Yeah. He followed it up with an unseen. You won't be able to unsee it now.
Oh. See, I didn't start that one.
Yeah, it was the one like right after it. So he's saying from now on, when you see that autograph, you're not going to unsee it.
Yeah, no, I like this one better. What else we got? Lawrence also says here that Sting liked being a big fish in a small pond, but knew he'd be a small fish in an ocean if he went to WWF. Yeah, pretty much. Can't argue that. And I still think that I still hate that he went. I mean, if you want to be honest with you. I mean, I know why he did it.
I wish he went when he could have wrestled the Undertaker, and they could have done a program and really made it matter.
So you want to hear a story? Because this is apparently this is what's supposed to happen. The promo that was ran with the Johnny Cash, it was the I'm trying to think, it was like a abandoned like a barn or something like that, and they were doing all these promos. It ended up being the Undertaker coming back, but that was actually Sting's promo.
Oh, I actually think I remember that. And
they cut it because one, Sting was still with TNA under contract, and they couldn't do it, and they had to scramble quickly. So really, we would have gotten it. It's just the timing and all the other bull crap that happens in the back end just didn't.
Yep.
Can I share something real quick? Because Jeremy just sent me a message, and I'm gonna
oh no,
I don't know if we'll be able to see it here. Oh, come on, show it.
Well, I see it.
Show it. Ah, you can't see it. That's unfortunate, but it literally is a penis. Jeremy is online. It. I wish I could.
You'd have to like turn your brightness down and all that fun stuff.
Can I turn my brightness down?
You almost had it there, Ted.
Oh, I almost had it. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's still just that.
Turn it.
It's like a hologram.
Yeah. Like turn it the other way, yeah, and then
The
turn it
other
towards
way.
your head.
Yeah,
Turn it towards your head.
Now shake.
No, like.
What's going on? I'm removing myself from the stream.
Yep, that's getting clipped. Oh my god!
Where were we in the chat?
You know what? I'm not gonna get a spit take, but I'm taking that as a nice alternate.
You know what? I hate you both.
It's
And
okay.
I also hate Jeremy now because he sent me a dick pic.
He did, and you looked at it.
And I shared it with friends.
Oh my god!
See, Jeremy asked what the greatest match of all time was.
That's a question for you, sir.
Yeah, I've been trying to ponder it for a minute. Like, the default in me wants to go Shawn versus Brett, but the match was not the greatest. So I think I will defer to. I mean, it's hard because honestly, like, I think it might
It's the finger poke of doom, isn't it?
What's that?
It's the finger poke of doom, isn't it?
No. It definitely wouldn't be that one.
No.
It might be the taser prod when they finally stopped the streak. No, it wasn't that either because he couldn't work. I feel like when you talk about the greatest match of all time, I think there's so many things that go into it as a wrestling fan because I think like I could argue that I love the Cody versus Roman match for Mania this past year. Like I loved like the up and down and like there's been so many matches that I've always enjoyed, but I would definitely sorry, I just saw the chat from Jeremy.
Yeah,
So Brett and Sean like was a huge thing. I was 12 years old. It was WrestleMania 12. Like it was huge, right? Like I wanted to see it. I didn't get to see it live. I had to go grab it from the Blockbuster weeks later and watch it, and whatnot. But like, I think I'm gonna fall back to the Sean versus Razor WrestleMania 10.
Yeah.
I think it was 10 MSG.
Ladder match.
Yeah, it was the ladder match, the first one, not the SummerSlam one, but the one where they were, Sean was the heel, Razor was the baby. Yeah. And I think it's just so much goes into it. Like Raw had just started, like up, and it was like becoming bigger and whatnot back there in 93-ish. Like I was finally watching it like weekly, and just everything that went into it, the battle royal where Razor won the title. Just so like to me, the best match that is like there's so much to it, right? Like Ted's is going to be because it's got Macho in it, and it potentially has Macho in it. But like I think it goes to like there's so many you can look back to, and it comes back to where you were and like who you loved at the time. And like if I was saying sound for sound matches, I'm sure it would involve like Shawn Michaels is going to be in like every top match. It's going to be Shawn versus Kurt. It's going to be Shawn versus Undertaker. It's going to be Shawn versus
Shawn versus Taker 2.
Yes, absolutely.
No. The first match was the first one was the best match. The second one had the best intro.
I'd have to double check it, but you're probably right. I think the first one like was the better of the matches, but like the second one was his retirement, right? If I remember correctly. Yeah, because they did it twice and he lost. Triple H was out there, all that stuff. They walked off the stage together. Yeah, end of an era type thing. So it's just like there's so many, like the top. It's going to be Shawn and everything.
There's some honorable mentions in the chat that so Lawrence came up with WrestleMania 3.
That one's so, like I agree, it's a great match, but that's such like that everybody goes to it. They're like,
well, it was the first ladder match that introduced the very first ladder match in WWF.
Macho and Ricky.
No, not that one. No, that was Shawn and Ray.
Oh, okay.
Shawn and Brett had the first ladder match. It was like in like a European like tour or something like that, if I recall. But Shawn and Razor had like the first publicized TV ladder. But what it is like as a wrestling fan and having trained, like even in training, one of the things they'd always talk to you is like if you're learning and you want to learn how to take an arm drag, go watch Macho and Ricky Steamboat go at WrestleMania 3. It's like, the back and forth, the arm drag, it's like the way you're supposed to take an arm drag. So like so many people top that as like their top match, and it was great. They both were awesome. I was never, I love Macho, but I was never a Ricky or Macho. Like it wasn't my time.
Hell in a Cell, Taker versus Mankind. That was just, I think the big thing for that was just the spot.
Yeah.
That he gets thrown off, gets back up, continues the match, and then get thrown through the top of the thing. And then I think we thought this man was dead.
Which wasn't intentional. That was not intentional.
No. They said it wasn't, but man, whew. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I Ted hears this story all the time, and I probably said it a million times. And no, I'm not talking about Starrcade. For me, I mean, there's tons of matches, but I think the one that holds like best for me is WrestleMania 20 when Benoit won the title.
Okay.
And that embracement in the ring between him and Eddie. Because they, two guys from WCW coming into WWEF, however you want to look at it, and both WCW guys holding world titles together. Talk about Benoit and whatever you want to say about the man and his a bajillion headshots that he's taken and his instability. The man as a wrestler, a technician, and through a hell of a match to win that title at WrestleMania 20 will always be a good one for me.
And the thing that I loved about that's a great one. And I was kind of in and out because I just got married and had my son. I was almost went to that. I think that was at MSG, if I remember correctly.
It was. That was on my 21st birthday.
It was the last one, and I almost went to it, but it didn't work out. I'm hoping to go to 40 for my 40th next year. And down in Pennsylvania. So I'm hoping to maybe pull that off. We'll see. But that match was interesting. And I love the fact that again, ignore all of the outside the ring stuff, right? Like as far as like the personal life of individuals. But I love the fact that he didn't even know he was going to win until he tapped. So like that right there was pure joy and emotion in the show. So it definitely added and captivated something that you don't always get, right? Because you typically know everything that's going to happen, but he did not know they were going to tap and give him the title. So that to him was huge, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, like, and you saw it in his face. I mean, like that was like a pure like, holy shit! Like,
yep,
you're believing me enough to put your title on me,
right?
And then of course we know what happened afterwards, unfortunately.
For 30 years, 20 years before that, you don't see a guy his size win a title. Not on the biggest stage of them all. I mean, Shawn was the only one close to that, but Shawn was different. He came up in the Hogan time, and he came up in the early 90s with the superstar, time frame there, but not many other guys, the Guerreros and the Benoits, those guys, the Jerichos, they didn't get world titles, right?
Well,
no, you guys are.
You saw it. They gave it to Finn Balor. He got injured. They gave it to Seth Rollins. He almost all but tore his leg off.
Yep.
They just the smaller build guy. Daniel Bryan was another. Kofi Kingston. Well, he didn't get injured, and he actually had a decent run, but that was like, in my opinion, it was a petty run. Like
it was the worst time, right? It's unfortunate, right? COVID and everything, and it definitely hurt his run. I don't really know everything other than Brock destroying him for the title.
Kofi was right before, like right.
Was he?
He was like intro COVID. The one that really screwed it was Drew McIntyre.
Okay, you're right.
He actually ran it through COVID.
Yep.
And like his moment pretty much got ruined because there was no crowd.
Yeah.
No, man, see, we can talk about this all day.
So no, well, that is a problem because we are at 2:15, and I know it's going to take us 15 minutes to wrap this up.
Yeah.
But like things we didn't get to is Travis, Mr. Wonderful, as an independent wrestler, and I feel like this leads for opportunities for future shows. And I also feel like Travis is about to be really fucking busy between making, producing, live streaming, social mediaing. But we very much we have dibs. Okay, first of all, I know Laser Pants isn't here anymore, so I can talk trash. We have dibs, fucker. Okay, we have first rights to him. All right, so he can go be on your little tiny show. It's fine.
Jesus Lord,
but. We got first booking, all right?
And this is why he doesn't want you on the show no more.
This is why Laser Pants ignores me all the time. And this is why I'm always in his DMs. So we're going to have to wrap this up. But before we do that, I feel like we should hit the chat one last time.
I mean, that was it.
You didn't start anything. Okay, bet. Let's go. Travis, what do you want to promote?
So I'm gonna follow me on the Instagram. I still figuring out how to use the thing. I feel like I'm an old man because it's technology that I didn't play with too much until recently. But I think it's like the Mr. Wonderful with only one E, and that's with the word the. So it's right here somewhere on the screen. If I can figure out a point right up there, it is. So, yeah, it's there. Follow me there. That's where I'm going to be doing everything. I am getting stuff running for the Hexa stack, right? So keep your eye out there. I will definitely be bringing stuff on for you guys. Hopefully have the opportunity to come back on before I launch the Kickstarter. If timing doesn't work out, I'll be sharing stuff on Instagram. I know you guys will support me the same way I support you guys and others. You guys are a very great community. Pay attention to the Instagram. That's where everything's going to get kicked off first. I'm working on some stuff as far as the YouTube channel, getting some stuff streaming. Now that I have connected with folks like you, had the opportunity to kind of get on my first live stream, do some talking. Definitely can talk wrestling for hours. So always down for, a Mr. Wonderful, Dark Claw, and Black Knight, and Jeremy J wrestling talk show, could be old school, could be new school, could be indie stuff, talk about stories, some, foot fetishes that, one of the guys that trained with me, had Mr. Atlas, Tony, the guy, huge foot dude, weird guy, cool dude, but yeah. There's all sorts of stuff, locker room stuff that I've experienced and heard of. So be glad to talk about that stuff again. But let's let's do this again. It's a pleasure. Thank you guys.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Hexastack. I can't thank you two enough for giving me the platform to speak to it. I really do appreciate that. I'm so happy that, I was able to bring it in here and have your community who has embraced me and chatted with me for months now, and share it with them and explicitly get their feedback, which has been so great and whatnot. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. It's a pleasure to have you on, and plus, I'll say it was a pleasure to you to drop a big announcement on us. Like I said, Ted said it best earlier. We had an idea because we talked previously about what you were doing, but like to see it all like in its fruition. I mean, dude, you're about to do something that is going to break the internet twice, and I wish you nothing but like success. And everything that you're about to do. Like I said, you got our blessing and our backing. The chat, they're ready. You drop it, they're buying. So, but yeah, we'll definitely get you on the wrestling show. We definitely will get you back on before the Kickstarter, because like I said, we want to try and get as many names out there. Apparently, 3POA is gonna go ahead and get you on their show.
Yeah, like anyone's
that's
gonna
awesome.
watch that.
Yeah.
Like 1,000 people are going to show up and watch the 3POA. Right.
Whatever.
Right. But Aaron, what do you need to promote?
So I'm still trying to think of what we're gonna do for next Monday. Like I said, next Monday on my Twitch channel. So I think it's still somewhere in the description.
I was gonna say, do I need to do something Monday?
I mean, you don't, but
okay. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Carry on.
No, you're fine. So next Monday is my official 3-year anniversary as a Twitch partner, or not partner, but affiliate. So we're gonna probably do kind of this, but on that platform. We'll probably do a giveaways of some sort. I've got some things over there, and maybe we'll give some gift cards to the shop.
I want to throw out there. I want to do if we can get you guys up to, what are you at, like 250 right now, somewhere in that range. Get you guys up to like 300 subscribers when you guys get going. When you hit 300 subscribers, I'll throw a $50 gift certificate to Hella Dope Toys.
There it is.
I'm gonna push that though. That you should probably buy AWOC, because AWOC kicks ass.
Yeah,
and it's a great product.
AWOC Wave 2 is expected to land end of next month, so make sure you get those pre-orders in. Thane is gonna be my piece that I'm looking for. So if you don't have it, get it. Briscoe, yeah, get that password, man. I need you on there. Other than that, helladopetoys.com. Get all the goodies. Yeah. Ted, you're up.
So we have a lot. First of all, I want to thank our guest, Travis, Mr. Wonderful. I really appreciate you joining us. I know we booked this way in advance because, first of all, we were just so booked and you were incredibly patient. We appreciate that. And that patience paid off because the stars aligned and you weren't entirely sure if you would be able to, announce this today. And we were super happy that you were. So thank you for doing that. And like I said, we appreciate you as a viewer, a partner in the community, everything. And we're looking forward to the stand.
Awesome.
In addition to that, Aaron and I are not going to be live. I have a dog down here. Sorry. We're not going to be live next Sunday. So we are taking 1 week off. Aaron, why are we taking 1 week off?
I need my rock therapy. There'll be a lot of that too. There is a 4-day concert here in Columbus. So me and
which one's that?
Well, they changed the name. It used to be called Rock on the Range. Now it's called Sonic Temple.
Okay.
Danny Warmo. He does like Louder Than Life, Incarceration, Welcome to Rockville. But that's our little show of it. So we'll be there Thursday through Sunday. Just, listening to some good rock music and forgetting about life for 4 days.
So there will be no show a week from today. We're going to give you all a week off, but you all should still check out Articulated Chad at 7 p.m.
Yes.
Eastern time. And I don't know what Sonny's doing anymore, to be honest.
I did hear that Mr. Wonderful is probably going to go live next Sunday at 9:00.
I thought that was Ed. Are we all going live?
We're all
Is it-
going live.
We're all going live.
I do think Axion's gonna be doing some stuff, right? I think he mentioned it, and I think he and I were talking offline a little bit about maybe getting together and doing some stuff together.
Oh, well, Aaron will be at a concert.
Yeah,
I
I'll be at a
think
concert.
I might be home.
I'll be-
So one of us will try to pop in for that.
I'll be 7 sheets to the wind.
What? Well, Ed's in the chat. What time is that going to be? Does anybody know? Travis, do you know?
I don't know the official details, but I would say 9 is probably the safest time for me. So me and Ed will get some stuff up there. We'll let you share it out. But I think he was planning around 9. I think he had some other folks maybe discussing with. So we'll get all the details out there. We're just kind of figuring it all out. Ed and I have been talking offline on the side about some stuff. He's been one of the guys that's really been helped support me as far as the Hexastack stuff. So definitely looking to do some stuff together.
Yeah,
So,
so you're planning on going at 9.
Axion is phenomenal as a viewer, a moderator, and just a friend in our community. So anything with Ed is good with us. Go support that. I will be on Largo's Lair Tuesday for the Infinite playlist where I will be talking about my horrible taste in music. So go check that out. And Aaron, you have an opportunity to come into the chat and shit all over me.
Oh, it's coming.
As I
Don't
did
worry.
you.
Fun facts all day long.
And then, so since we are not going live next Sunday, we are giving you your filler on Wednesday. We will be going live at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time on State of the Art on the Unboxing Art channel with Arthur and Josh. So we'll be hanging out there, and for once, we'll be getting interviewed. That'll be weird,
Yeah.
right?
It will be.
You're answering all the questions first, for the record.
That's fine. I'm used to
Yeah,
it.
so you're answering everything first, and I'm just going to piggyback off of whatever you say.
Mhm.
And then I think we come back June 4th.
No, we come back on the 30th, 31st, the
No.
Tuesday.
No, we don't. Well,
Wrestling
I'm talking
show.
about our show.
It is our show. Wrestling
No.
show.
Oh, bitch!
You got a whole calendar. You don't even pay attention.
Did you add that to the calendar, sir?
No.
Did
I
you
do that?
not know I have to make graphics and such, or I have to tell Frank to make graphics and such?
Right. Yeah, let's be real. Like it's Frank that does that.
No, Frank does all the wrestling thumbnails, and we appreciate him immensely. Yeah, I didn't think about that. So yeah, we have that show, whatever date Aaron said that I may or may not show up for.
Oh, you'll be there. Don't worry. In
And
nice
then-
heel form.
June 4th, we show back up, and do we have a guest? Don't we have a guest? We don't know yet. Time will tell. And then June leads us to the month of doubles, where we have dual guests. 2 guests pitted against each other. 2 will enter, 1 will leave. Who will it be? We don't know. But yeah, we're gonna have 2 people on at once because Aaron and I are just like, yo, let's get freaky about it, you know?
Hell yeah. Like our screen's full.
And outside of that, go to helladopetoys.com. Buy some toys. Thank you, Ed. Or don't buy some toys, you know, it doesn't matter to me at all in the slightest. Check us out on Hella Dope Toys, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube,
Twitter,
Facebook, Twitter.
OnlyFans.
That's me.
There's not an OnlyFans.
Not OnlyFans. Yeah, and that's all I have for you guys. Anybody else have anything else before I cut us out?
The chat's here.
Oh, Chad, what's up, buddy? I was just talking about you, I think.
Yeah. Look at all these fine gentlemen. Yes. Welcome.
Yo, and again, if I didn't say it, which I think I did, next Sunday, Articulated Chad, 7 p.m. Eastern. Go watch the shit. Mr. Wonderful is going to be there, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mr. Wonderful is literally in every dark toy YouTube alley I can find. I cannot, like, I think I'm escaping the guy, and I'm like, oh, look, I found a place where Mr. Wonderful isn't at. And boom, He's fucking
Cheers.
there.
And then it's just a cheers.
It's just a cheers, man.
No, not just all bad stuff. There was one good thing, so I think. Maybe two.
Nah. No, this whole show is actually shitting on.
See, we had to stop when we saw you come in, so you know.
Big announcement. We're shitting on it. No, we love Articulated Chad. If you love G.I. Joe stuff, especially vintage stuff, go there Sundays, 7 p.m. Eastern. Check it out. And then Joe Fest is coming. I bet you can find him there.
Probably.
Probably. And maybe at Paragon too. All right, Aaron, are we done? Do you have anything else?
Do I? I don't think so.
Cool.
Oh, wait. Maybe.
Do I have to open another beer?
Lord, no, you're good. Lawrence, I'll message you, and we'll talk later about that. Like I said, it's a soft thing. It's not gonna be long, so I won't run into yours, but we'll talk later. That's all.
Travis, any final words to the fans?
Just thank you guys. I appreciate it. I look forward to helping the community. I appreciate you guys' feedback. My Instagram will be open. I'll get that, exposed. However, I got to do that, unlock it from being private for folks. Please add me, give me a follow, a like. Keep your eyes on that because that's where the first place you're going to hear about announcements on Hexastack. Those things are coming. I really hope to get as many backers as possible for that so that we can get as much of it live. It'll be a really solid product. I want folks' feedback. If you've got a YouTube show and you're interested, would love to get some of those products out to folks before the Kickstarter goes live to get some initial feedback. I'm designing them, producing them, all of that myself. I'll be packing the boxes, and mailing those things out. So just want to say thank you, everyone. Look forward to trying to bring something to the community. And thank you guys for accepting me in the community and giving me other plastic nerds to hang out with.
Mr. Wonderful, you absolutely killed it tonight. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
joining us, and we look forward to seeing you on future streams.
Thank you very much, guys.
Goodbye, everybody. We love you all.